Oh yeah, he's awake and alive.
It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast with your friend Mike. It's the 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast that you like, 'cause it's free. Here he comes now with Billy Matchko. It's gonna start.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy Podcast. That's right, I took a break there. Took a pause. I'm a little winded this early in the show. And also, I spooked myself. I'm not going to lie to you. For some reason, I can't fucking figure out why. And I think I alluded to it last week. My microphone is so fucking loud in my head. And I normally like having myself loud, banging loud. I make Mex turn me up, and then I crank up the fucking ear, because I wear cans at Dave's house, because it's a very professional studio when I'm down in the basement there. When I'm in the cat house, it's all about being professional. But at my house, who the fuck cares? I'm sitting at a desk staring at a kitchen. And let me paint a picture for you right now, folks. I am here in my apartment, and I'm, as you can probably tell, alone. What if I wasn't? What if Lily was here and just hated it? Like, she was just like boycotting, laughing, had no interest in participating. No, Lily's not here right now, because, well, right, I say right now as if she's going to show up. What if she showed up in the middle of the show? How great would that be? I should do that. You know what? Let's have fucking Lily just walk on like George Gobel on the old fucking Tonight Show. I'll be talking, and then all of a sudden you just hear like, da, 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 and she walks out from behind a curtain. I don't have a curtain in my house. I've got these shitty blinds. Dude, I got to tell you, the blinds in my kitchen are so fucking, they're just filthy. Like, and I've hired people to clean my house. Remember I talked about that when I've had like the lady slaves come over and they fucking cleaned up. They do a really good job, but I don't know, in 2 hours they just kind of meander around. Dude, if you really fucking put your nose to the grindstone, you could make this place goddamn spotless in 2 hours, I would imagine. Because I don't have a lot of shit to clean. I got like 2 desks to dust. I got a fucking kitchen. And I do the dishes before they fucking show up. It's not like they have dishes. And they freak me out when they clean my house, man. Because like, there's things they don't need to do. Like the last time they were here, the chick cleaned the fridge. Like, she's like, yeah, and here's the worst part of it. She went in and she cleaned the fridge, but then she fucking, like, restructured it. I like my fridge a certain way. On the bottom shelf, I got my waters. On the second to the bottom shelf, I got my yogurts. Well, I got yogurts on the bottom shelf as well. Look, folks, I could draw you a schematic. Why don't I do that? Why don't you tune in right now that I'll make up a video that'll show you exactly how my fridge works. But it didn't matter because she wanted to put in like a bunch of fucking waters in my crisper drawers and shit because she's like, oh, it saves you room. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Nobody asked you to fucking whack out my fridge there, Pablo. Her name probably was not Pablo, and that seems racist. But it might have been close to that. Pabloina? Could have been that. Is that a name? I don't know. I got to talk to Max. Is that a name? He's not here either. Damn it. Why do I keep reaching out to people who are not here? We are in my apartment. So Lily's not here. And first of all, I'm sure you can tell I'm still sick. Carrying the sick gene inside of me. By the way, you remember Sick Gene, don't you? Sick Gene the dancing machine? Oh boy, when he would show up, the Gong Show would really take off. And then JP Morgan got herpes from him because he was sick. He was Sick Gene. He gave Paul Williams chlamydia. Paul Williams follows me on Twitter, by the way. Let's talk about that for just a second. And why? Who cares? Because literally, you know why? It's worth talking about for just a second. Paul Williams, from fucking Smokey and the Bandit, like he was the little Enos. I don't know what the fuck his name was, but and you know what's funny? That's his credit to me, Smokey and the Bandit. Paul Williams, genius songwriter, brilliant guy from Phantom of the Paradise, and just an amazing talent, and had an amazing career. And I fucking make him Pat McCormick's sidekick. Because that's just the first place where my head went. Regardless of who he was or how you know him, you do know him now as the guy who follows me on Twitter. And he followed me on Twitter. It's not like I went, hey, Paul Williams, please follow me. He found me, thought I was funny, followed me, which was great. I forget why. Somebody send him a tweet of mine. I don't even, oh man, can you think of anything more boring than me tracing the lineage of how Paul Williams decided to follow me on Twitter? Is there anything really that would bring this show to a grinding fucking halt more than me just going, hey, and here's what happened. I think in November of last year, there was a chill in the air, and then Twitter was alive with activity. I don't know, somebody fucking copied him on something or sandwiched him into something, and he followed me because he likes comedy. He's a comedy dude. So he followed me, which was nice. And I followed him back, but let's not get it out. I didn't really want to follow him back. I did because I felt obligated. It's weird how Twitter works. Because I normally would not have sought out a Paul Williams to follow. I mean, I was honored. Well, not honored. Honored seems like a strong word. I thought it was cool. You know what I mean? It's neat that if like a fucking celebrity followed you, because it happened to me. One of the earliest guys who ever did it, and this will mean nothing to you at all, but one of the earliest dudes who ever followed me, where I went, whoa, there's a chef named John Besh, and he's down in Nolans. He was down in Nolans. I don't even know who that was, but he's down there, and I would watch his show on TBS, or not TBS, PBS. It's one of the BS's. He's got a show on the BS. You know what? Maybe wherever he is, he's on the BS. It's the Besh station. So he was on there. He was making crab cakes or some bullshit, and I liked it. And somehow on Twitter, I don't know how it happened, but he started following me, and I was like, whoa. So of course I had to follow him back. I didn't really want to follow John Besh back, but you had to, because it seems like that's just common courtesy. But also, if somebody follows you on Twitter and you follow them back, that means you can write personal notes to them. So now, if I want to, I'm just letting this into your heads. If there's anybody out there who has a message they want passed along to Paul Williams or John Besh, by all means get it to me, because I am your conduit. I am your pipeline to all things Paul Williams and John Besh. If you want crab cakes or you want somebody to sing Rainbow Connection, by all, contact me. Did he write Rainbow Connection? I don't know. Paul Williams, he's another guy. I associate him with the Muppets. Didn't he write Muppet songs or some shit like that? I have no idea. So we're here at the house, and I am alone, staring at my broken glass. my four walls follow me through my past. I was on a Paris train. I emerged in London rain, and you were waiting there, swimming through apologies. Sorry. I might be going to see them. I don't know. I saw the story, and I thought it seemed cool, and so I sent the link to the lovely Jill, and I'm like, this might be fun. And then Jill was like, oh my God, I'll take the weekend off work. But here's what happened. Jill texted me back, because I was out driving. I was doing an Uber thing. As you know, I do that sometimes on occasion, but that's a lie. I have to do it all the fucking time or else I'll die. And I won't die. I'll just run out of money and won't be able to eat or do anything with my life. Well, never mind. I'll get to that later. But so I sent Jill the link, and I'm like, honey, to tell her that it was, because it's Rick Springfield and Billy Idol and Missing Persons and Berlin. And as I sent the article to her, she's like, I'll take the weekend off work. And then I was driving, so I did not answer her text. And then the next time I asked her about it, I was like, hey, that concert sounds fun. And she's like, yeah, I'm sure the tickets are going to be astronomical, though. So because I didn't answer her text, all of a sudden she was not interested in going to the show. Which, and again, I could be, by the way, that could be me misreading a text, because I've been known to do that on occasion. I don't want to go ahead and paint myself into a corner here and tell you I do it all the time. But it just seemed like, she was gung-ho. She's like, I'll take the weekend off work. And because I didn't answer it, she then felt like I was not excited about that idea. So then the next morning, she's just like, yeah, it just seems like those tickets will be too high. Because in 12 hours, she went from I'll take the weekend off work to, yeah, those tickets will probably be astronomical. And that matters because Jill is the one who has a real job, and I Uber people. So for me to afford my ticket, I would have to drive 40 people to their destinations, whereas she can go work 4 hours at work. That seems high. No, she could probably work 2 hours at work and afford that ticket. I still don't even know what that ticket is. Because then, I tell you what, when I reread the article and I saw that it was a concert where the 80s people are there, but also it's being put on by the iHeart Radio people. And if you don't know who they are, it is probably 100 people in suits walking around like douchebags pretending to be important and eating Rick Springfield's cherry tomatoes. That's who they are. It's, if you ever get backstage at a fucking show or a concert, there's like the band, and then there's posse, and then there's a ton of fucking label assholes who want to go ahead and say, hey, look, I'm important. I've got a laminate, because when I used to bounce, we wanted to fucking crack their skulls all the goddamn time. Whenever there was any like fancy show, like Incubus played at the House of Blues. This is before they were Incubus. I don't know if that's true, that they became Incubus, but they weren't big yet. They weren't huge. They were still doing well. They were a regionally successful band before they hit nationally. Well, they played in the House of Blues, and Incubus was great. And I think there's like 71 dudes in Incubus. It's one of those things where there's like, It was like when I saw Sublime. You know what I mean? Or it wasn't Sublime. It was the Long Beach Dub All Stars because Brad had died already. Bradley? Brad? I call him Brad. We're good friends. I used to hang out with a lot of surfing heroin addicts, especially Brad and Scott Weiland. I don't know if he surfed. Look, Charlie don't surf and Weiland don't surf. That's just the way it goes, man. Weiland takes the spike and then he checks out on a tour bus. It was funny. I was in bed with Jill when that fucking story came through. I woke up and she's like, "Oh man, Scott Weiland died." And I this will sound probably terrible. But that's not going to sound fucking terrible because you're probably going to agree with me. That was the least surprising death announcement I've ever heard in my life. It wasn't one of those things where I was like, "Oh, I thought he was dead already," or "Oh, who," or I know exactly who Scott Weiland is, but it was just that guy. He was just, you were waiting for him to take the wrong fucking spike and get the hot shot and check out, right? Weren't we all? I don't know if we were all waiting with anticipation. Yes, we actually were. We were waiting for the plunger to drop in Times Square, and when it hit the bottom, he would take the final rush and ride the fucking nod all the way out to fucking Heaventown or wherever the fuck he's going, to Plushtown. That's where he's heading. Boy, that actually, I like that. I like the idea of a big heroin needle in Times Square and you push it all the way down, and when it gets to the bottom, every junkie dies. Let's do that. Can we figure that out? Let's have a fucking nod off. Yeah, like in Times Square, let's just get a ton of junkies. The only problem with that is the cleanup afterwards. But if you got like a ton of junkies in Times Square and you had like a fucking heroin New Year, and you had like instead of a crystal ball or whatever the fuck it is, you had a plunger that fucking got pushed down, and then at the bottom when it all lit up, everybody took that final hot shot and they died right there in Times Square. That's right. I'm advocating a mass suicide of heroin addicts at fucking New Year's Eve. Wait, we can't have it New Year's Eve. We've already got people there celebrating. We've got to find another more appropriate day. Does April 20th work? Is that right? I don't know how you fucking pillheads do your nasty business. I'm not sure. All I know is that seems to be that, listen, that the day, like, because what is it, a joint coffee break, or you guys 420 is the time you go, you all spark up, you do your thing, and you fucking pack your pipe. But that's what I want. I'm calling it Times Square. Let's get all the heroin addicts there on April 20th, and we'll fucking put a big ass like light up needle at the top of whatever goddamn building it is, and we'll push the plunger down. And then when it fucking hits the final bottom, everybody takes that hot shot and fucking surfs off to Plushtown. That's my new thing for heroin addiction. When you die from a heroin overdose, you're surfing off to Plushtown in honor of Scott Weiland. Because he's the ultimate junkie. He's not the penultimate. He's the ultimate junkie. I'm going to make him. And by the way, I'm pitching that reality show too. You know what? There's your show. There it is. We pitch a show called The Ultimate Junkie. We have these guys like, they get all these like Olympic sports. They got to break into houses and steal flat screens and pawn them off and get money and then go and try to buy it and get on the nod. And these guys, they try to take as much heroin as they can without dying, like it's this thing. And the guys who actually survive get to kill themselves in Times Square when the fucking needle plunger goes all the way to the bottom. Right? Who's with me? Everybody? High five. Up top? Nobody, because I'm alone, sitting with my empty glass. There's nobody here. Lily's home. Like I said, I'm still a little sick. You can probably hear it in my voice, but Lily she was, I did the show last week and it was a little late. And because I was off to funerals and wakes. And by the way, thank you to everybody who wrote with condolences and said nice things about my family who passed away. You guys are really cool, and that's nice of you to do. And also, I will tell you that this week is a lot better because nobody died. Nobody fucking died this week. Hurrah! Huzzah! Isn't that great? I don't have to sit here and tell you about some fucking sad moment from my life or from my friends' lives or anybody's life. Well, certainly there's enough pathos in this show already with me killing every junkie in the world in Times Square in a reality show, but still. So nobody died, but you guys were really nice and you stepped up and you sent me some nice words and told me some cool things, and thank you. That's very cool of you. And I look forward to 6 more of these. That's what I said when I was talking to Jeff. I told you I don't even know if I said this last week, but we were walking out of Mr. B's wake and funeral, and Jeff turned and looked at me and he goes, "Man, this just sucks." He goes, "A week later, we're in the same exact place." And I said, "It does suck." I go, "But I'll tell you this. I make you this promise. You will not have to come to my father's. I tell you that right now." And he just looked at me and he's just like, "Oh, dude, what are you saying?" And Jill is standing next to me and she said, "What did he say?" And Jeff goes, "I'm not even going to say." And she just goes, "You know what? You're right. I don't even want to hear it. I make this promise to you. You don't have to come to my dad's." Because again, I'm never funnier than I'm at a wake or a funeral. Which I'm sure a lot of you are thinking to yourselves, God, I wish there were a wake or a funeral this week. He'd be bringing the heat in the show instead of talking about killing junkies in a wide swath all over the United Nations. The United Nations, man, that's the building we'll use. That's where we'll have the big heroin thing on top. We'll have the plunger drop and all that nonsense. So you can hear my voice is still a little raspy. It's still a little fried. But our friend Lily Von Stupp said last week, she's like, I don't want to be here, man, because I'm going to get sick. And then I did the show late last week. And then I wound up seeing Lily on Monday, and I will talk at length a little bit about that coming up. But I saw her Monday, and I walked up to her. I said, hey, what time tomorrow? And she said, what do you mean? And I said, what time are we recording tomorrow? And she goes, why are we recording tomorrow? I said, well, we do a podcast every week. I don't know if you recall. You're the producer, and occasionally you'll come in and you'll laugh and enjoy it. She said, oh, no, we did last week's show, or this week's show last week, right? I'm just staring at her. I understand she's got a life and she's busy and she's got all sorts of stuff that she's planning, but I'm just looking at her like, what? You were sitting here listening to me talk when I described that it was a late show because of the wakes and the funerals. Like, we even named the show fucking Wakes and Funerals, Funerals and Wakes, whatever the fuck we named it. You knew. But I mean, I guess she didn't really pay attention, but, or she didn't have to, or whatever the fuck. And I talk in circles, man, and there's a blizzard of words to fucking keep track of. And when she walked out, I thought for sure, I said, hey, next week. But she booked her week. She's like, man, I'm really tied up on Tuesday and Wednesday because she's building. This is the thing. Nobody I know has a doctor's appointment. You know what I mean? Everybody, like, Lily's building a dog house, and that's not even a fucking joke. Lily's like, yeah, no, I got to build a dog house, and I've got to build a psychiatric stand. And I'm like, oh man, I don't fucking, if you told me you were taking a flight or you had some sort of appointment with an accountant, that would sound a lot more. But let's put it that way. That would sound credible, but it also wouldn't sound Lily. Because I know for a fact she's got to be like, hey, I'm sorry, I can't make the show next week. I got to blow a fire eater. Like, I'll be like, why? And she'll be like, I owe him. It's a long story. And I'm sure it is. And it'll be an entertaining story if she tells it. But I just sit there and stare at her because that's always what it is. She's like, oh, I can't. I have to go down to the flower market in LA and try to buy every pink carnation they have. Just always these fucking bizarre errands for the show. And look, man, that's what happens when you're producing a show. She does the Monday Night Teas, and I understand that she's got to have props. And I don't know the first fucking thing about it. I show up, I got a notebook, and I talk. That's it. Although, now when I've been talking to her, I think maybe I should probably include a doghouse into my live presentation. What do you think? Probably? That'd be a good idea. She's building it. They're only going to use it one fucking time, and then what's she going to do, dismantle it? Fuck that, man. I'm taking it on the road. We'll call it the Mike Schmidt and the Doghouse Tour, right? We'll find one city that'll buy a ticket, one ticket, one man, one city, one doghouse. And that'll be the poster, and I guarantee I will sell one fucking ticket. But maybe I set the ticket price at like $600. Is anybody out there who would pay $600 to see me? I don't even know if Seth and Brandy still listen to the show. That's the weird thing. I was telling somebody that story the other day. I remember telling Murray Valeriano about it. And Murray's the host of the Road Stories podcast. You should check it out. It's fantastic. I've been on it a couple of times. It was fun. That's a ringing endorsement. It was fun. But it's a good show. Go listen to Murray. And Murray's also on the Rock Solid podcast with our friends Pat Francis and Kyle Dodson and April Richardson and Mike Siegel and Murray Valeriano. It's rotating co-hosts over there. It's kind of like what I have here. I have rotating co-hosts. I wouldn't say rotating co-hosts. I have rotating appearances by David Hernandez and also Lily Von Stupp and nobody. And you can vote right now at the website to see which one you like best. You know what I think should happen? I think Dave and Lily should have their own podcast. Go ahead and throw that out there. Let's do that. You want to rotate fucking chairs, motherfuckers? You want to go ahead and make an appearance? You want to go ahead and take a week off and do this? Give me a week off and you two try to fill up a goddamn show. Maybe you guys should stare at one another and sing a song. Or, but that's the thing. Is like fucking Dave, they do it. I shouldn't even fucking challenge them. That's the thing. I shouldn't even throw that fucking gauntlet down. Because then, Lily will fly out to David and he'll record a fucking song and she'll dance and they'll make a video package out of it. And then I'll just be out of a fucking podcast job. Because this is a goddamn job. I still like to think that this is a thing, right? And it's because it's all I have. It's my fucking bulldozer. It's the show I do every week, and I got people listening, and that's pretty cool. But still, people glaze over because they have no fucking idea what it is. You know, you'll tell them, even young people. That's what kind of shocks the fuck out of me. No, I'll tell you that story later. But there are people when they'll talk about podcasts and you go, hey, do you listen? They go, no, like not at all. Like I could not be less interested in what you do or the thing that you think is going to change the medium or be some sort of expressive way for you to go out there and put your face and your name out there and try to make a bulldozer into it and make yourself famous. No, I don't listen at all. Still got a television, still got a Netflix, still got Hulu. I want to start a website called Hulu.com, but WHOLOU, and try to trick people into coming there and giving me their passwords. Oh, that's like a skimmer. Ooh, yeah. You know, like those fucking skimmers they put on to steal your ATM and your debit information? Maybe I throw up a skimmer like at a Hulu.com, but like WHOLOU. And when people put in their HULU password and stuff, I keep it. And then there you go. The next thing you know, I'm enjoying Malcolm in the Middle for free, which I could probably do by turning on my fucking television set. There's a lot of that on, right? There were a billion of those fucking shows. All I know, like Malcolm in the Middle is one of those shows, and I look, I don't know anything about it. I know I was on it, and I loved it, and they were really nice people to me. But I also know for a fact that when it started out, I think Malcolm was like 4. Wasn't he 4 years old? Like when that show started out, Frankie Muniz was 4 years old, and then you flip channels, and all of a sudden, the guy's like a fucking senior in high school. And you're like, whoa, Malcolm, what the fuck, man? Slow down with the growth spurt there. It's such a jarring thing. Like there's a dude, I should actually look this dude up. Like, I think I've talked about it before. It was the cutest kid ever. It was this kid fucking Zachary Lavoie. You ever see Parenthood, the movie? Not the fucking TV series, but the movie. There was this little kid who would ram his head into shit. He was like this fucking little towhead kid with curly blonde hair, and his deal was that they were worried about him because did you hear that plane? Remember when there were planes? Remember when they did this show in a car? Remember they had fucking nonsense? I guess I should be happy that I'm doing it alone in my house, at least sitting at a desk talking to a goddamn microphone, because I've done this show in worse places. I've done it in a fucking car on the side street and recorded it in bits. Dude, think about the things I've done to bring this show to you folks. Think about what do you keep hearing that fucking noise? That is the goddamn fucking handle on my goddamn chair, and it's happened 3 times in the middle of this fucking show. Listen. That's me snapping it back into fucking place. And I guarantee eventually it's going to fucking pop out again. But as I'm sitting here, my elbow is resting against it and I'm trying to talk, and then that'll fucking snap and it distracts me. It throws me. You know, it gets the fucking bees going in a different direction. I had the bees because literally right now I can't even remember what the fuck I was talking about. But I know that the bees are now centered around the fucking chair, and I'm just like, God damn it, I don't even know what the fuck that is. But I don't know what I was talking about before that either. Fuck. But I do know that Lily is sick. I know that. I made her sick. Not only is she home building a fucking doghouse and you know, making garland out of cotton candy or whatever the fuck she's got going on. She's stringing lights and popcorn and ornaments and garland and all sorts of other shit to fucking wrap around her tits for Christmas. But because this is the truth. Last week she canceled on me because she had a nude photo shoot. You know, I'm betting that shit doesn't happen with like NPR shows. You know, I'm betting that Ira Glass doesn't have his producer go, hey, dude, sorry, man, you got to run the board yourself this week because I got to go show my fucking cock to somebody. Or if he's got a female producer, she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, I got to go just fucking and go split pink for somebody, and I can't possibly go ahead and record your show about weeping Native Americans. Fucking you and your crying Indian bullshit Trail of Tears nonsense has to go because I got to bend over for a camera. But that's what Lily had to do. She had to fucking bail on me because she had to do a nude photo shoot. She's like, no, man, it's the only day I can do it, that also cracked me up. I'm like, really, that's the only day you can get your fucking tits photographed is that fucking Wednesday or Tuesday it was. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Nothing I can do about it. And then she wound up having to cancel that photo shoot and then reschedule it for later. She wound up doing it. I think she did it Sunday. I don't know. I saw her posting about it, but it's because and I'll just plug this now. If you're going to the Monday Night Teas 50th anniversary, I'm sorry, I was going to say 50th anniversary of the Monday Night Teas, but unfortunately, what I meant to say is that her 50th birthday party is the 10-year anniversary of the Monday Night Teas, and that's coming up in January. I'll be performing there, telling a story, talking, doing whatever the fuck I do. But the best part of it is there's 50 performers all night long. So you'll come for the Schmidt, stay for the 49 good people. That'll be fun. And I'll be tucked in there somewhere. I'm hoping she throws me as number 40. That makes sense, right? Doesn't it? or number 20, which would be Mike Schmidt's uniform number. But I don't know, and I don't care. Wherever she puts me on the dais, I will be happy. But as long as she tells me ahead of time so I know I can get there right when I'm about to go on, I can do my show and I can walk right the fuck out. Because I don't want to see jugglers and bullshit and fire eaters. But that's a lie. I like seeing that show. You know what I will tell you? Well, I was actually at the Monday Night Tease this week. I wasn't at the Monday Night Tease itself, but I was at the venue. I was at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica because I had a show to do on Monday. Oh, wait, before I even get into that, so anyway, she's doing the nude photo shoot, right? And the reason being is at the 50th anniversary party, she is, or the fucking 50th birthday party, 10th anniversary party. Anybody who comes in and buys a ticket gets a party favor. And if you've ever seen, I don't even know what the fuck they call it, but it's one of those little peep show things like that you put to your eye, and you look in and there's a little picture in there, and the picture will be a naked Lily Von Stupp. So, in a glamour shot. So go ahead and pick that up, folks, because Lily's taking it all off for you. And then giving herself. That's her gift to you on her 50th birthday is, hey, check out this broad with no clothes on. Put it up real close to your eye. Hey, but I will tell you this. I am still rooting for this, and I'm trying to pitch her on it. And I don't know if she's going to go ahead and follow my lead or my example or think that it's something that she should do. But I say, here's what I say. I say she puts eye black on it, and everybody who puts it up to their eye winds up with a crazy PD eye from Little Rascals. That's what I want to see. I want everybody in the fucking building to have a black eye. Look at me. Why am I rooting for all this mass chaos? I want all the junkies dead in Times Square. I want massive black eyes at the 10th anniversary party of the Monday Night Tease. I'm abdicating a lot of things that people would probably be very upset with me for advocating. Or at least they would think to themselves, I don't understand why that guy's calling his shot like this. And I'd say, you know what? Fuck that, man, because I do it. That's what I like to do. I like to annoy crowds. Fuck, dude, goddamn chair. Sorry. That drives me fucking insane. It was like a few weeks ago when I kept kicking the metal thing, and then Lily's like, just why don't you get the fucking metal thing out of here? And she took it. That's why she's the producer. If she was here, she'd do something about this fucking chair, but she can't because she's off showing her tits to 9 other photographers or whatever the fuck she's doing tonight. No, she's sick, and I forgot she's constructing a macaroni Christmas ornament with her face on it. With her naked body on it. That's what it is. She actually used one of the naked photos for her own macaroni Christmas ornament. She can put it on the tree. Or she'll put it on a star. Maybe she'll put it on the top. Maybe she's going to be on a shelf. Maybe she's the MILF on a shelf. Who knows? I don't know how she handles her business. You know why I don't know? Because she doesn't fucking come over here. She instead goes, oh no, I'm sorry, I've booked every single possible hour instead of coming over and recording a show with you. And yeah, I'm sure I'm coming off whiny. But hey, that's me. That's who I am. I'm a whiny fella, especially when I'm alone. Because if she was here, she'd keep me in check. Because woo-ha, she's got us all in check. She's Buster Rhymes. She's Lily Buster Rhymes. She's Buster Lily. Busty Von Stupp. She's Busty something. Buster. She's Busty Rhymes. That's who she is. She ain't Buster Rhymes. She's Busty Rhymes. That's who Lily is. I went Monday. I'm going to slow down here. I feel, when I do these shows alone, man, I don't even feel like I take a fucking breath. Like I just kind of fucking blaze through it and talk, and all of a sudden I'm like, is this over? I have no idea if it's over. I went Monday to the Dirty Birdie Story Hour and performed at the Monday Night Tease venue, the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. Susanna Lee was very nice and booked me for the show. And like I mentioned before, she made me fucking come in and kind of audition and watch the fucking show. And that's fine. I don't mind that. And that's a lie because it's the 9th time I fucking complained about it. So obviously I mind that, but who cares, right? Right. I walked in and, it was very nice. Some listeners, our friend Tom, came out to the show. That was cool to see him. And, I'm sorry, the plane distracted me. The Red Baron is flying over. He heard all about Snoopy's doghouse. He's come to fill it full of fucking holes. So I went to the show and I found out that there were several different storytellers. Our friend Tito Benito, who's a stripper person, but apparently he's also a storyteller, and he did a very fine job. He was there. Nadia Ginsburg was there. She's a very funny woman, comedian. I was going to say funny. I didn't mean woman comedian. I meant to say very funny woman, and then I switched it to comedian because I was like, why? You don't have to say she's a woman. You have to be all gender about it. But she's just funny. That's who she is, funny writer and funny comedian. And then, of course, there was a Danielle Radford there. No, that's wrong. Danielle Radford is a friend of mine on Facebook, but it was another Danielle person. I met Danielle Radford in Portland when I went to the Bridgetown Comedy Festival. Man, I'd love to do that again. Wouldn't that be cool? Hey, I wonder if there's submissions. When are the submissions happening for that? I should probably let them know that I would like to come up there and do a story again, or talk, or hang out, or just have voodoo donuts. That's all I fucking care about. I don't give a shit about you or your shitty festival. I want to come up and have some goddamn voodoo donuts, and I'd like to get paid for the privilege. Can I do that? Can I get an appearance fee of some sort? You know, me, the guy who has no stroke and has nobody who will possibly travel to see him. Well, that's a lie. People have traveled to see me, but to Portland, bit of a stretch. Unless I tell you, folks, there's voodoo donuts out there. Oh, fuck, I got to tell you this. God damn it. There's this awesome Thai restaurant in Portland. It's called Pok Pok. And they have the best fucking chicken wings I've ever had in my life because they're like these fish sauce wings and they kind of burn them and they got this like caramelized sauce on them and they're fucking spicy but not super spicy so I can eat them and I'm not a baby about it. And Jill didn't really like them when we had them in New York and that was kind of a drag, but I love them. Because Jill's like a wing connoisseur, you know, but she doesn't like buffalo sauce, but she likes hot, fucking hot, spicy wings. Then I brought her for these things, and I'm like, hey, guys, fucking crank them up heat. And there was no heat there for her because this is a woman who eats fucking charcoal briquettes. Like, and then wonders why her stomach hurts. She's like, doc, I have this pain in my stomach. And the doctor's like, well, this is going to be awkward, but you actually have a tiny devil with a pitchfork stabbing you in what used to be your stomach lining. That seems weird, right? Hey, I'm looking at your stomach now, and it's actually burned away, and it's in the shape of an oven mitt because that's how fucking hot the food that you eat is. You can't handle it. It's like, good Christ, what are you doing to yourself? She tells me all the time, she's like, oh, honey, oh, it's terrible. My stomach hurts. Oh, she's got a pain in her side from eating. She's like, oh, I'm so full. But it's like, and I'm like, dude, it's because you eat lava. Like, I mean, and it's not even like a joke. Like, she eats things called lava, not like chocolate lava cakes, but she had some mango habanero lava sauce, and she whenever we make breakfast burritos, she's got a litany of hot sauces on the door of her fridge. I mean, it's just that is one muy caliente lady. How did I spin off into that shit? Jesus Christ! How did we get the hot sauce bees rolling? We were talking about something else, right? Weren't we? I think we were. Me eating, and then the show. Well, fuck it. I totally forgot. So I went to do Dirty Birdie Story Hour. Oh, Danielle. I spun off into Portland and Voodoo Donuts. Jesus Christ. So anyway, there was a Danielle person who, she was a poet who won a championship. And whenever I hear that kind of shit, I am so fucking speculative. I'm just like, oh, good for you. So did you do a fucking elbow drop on Hulk Tennyson? Is that how you took home the poet championship or whatever the fuck it was? Jesus Christ. Oh, you won the poetry belt, did you? Did you beat the Macho Man Randy Cummings? Randy E.E. Cummings? I don't know. So she was a poet who won a championship. She was lovely. She was a nice woman, and her friends were nice and supportive of me. But then I sat there, and I did that thing again where I kind of twist myself in a knot because I wasn't sure what story I was going to tell. I didn't know what I was going to talk about on stage, and I literally, because I only had 2 fucking weeks to prepare and plan it. And so I thought about it, and I had kind of decided on something. And you hear that fucking chair? Dick. I had kind of decided on the story I was going to tell, and this is not even a fucking joke. I knew it, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this, and then I'll create it while I'm on stage, and I'll kind of weave my thing and tell a story. And as I was driving there, I was thinking of the story, and I was going to Vine at Santa Monica. When I hit Vine at Fountain, which is like a block away, I went, hey, what if I did this instead? I'm not even fucking kidding. The show was at 7:30, and at like 10 after 7 or quarter after 7, I totally changed what I was going to talk about. I went, fuck it, just do this. Because as you know, I grip and I twist myself into fucking knots when I do a show. But I mean, when I do a show at a festival, it's an hour and a half. When I do a show on the road, it's 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and sometimes 4 hours, which is long, depending on the chairs in the venue. What I need to do is book a venue that has comfortable chairs, and then I could talk all fucking night, right? You guys would be on board with that. What if we just had like a massive, like weird, funky sleepover? Like, how they would do Podcastathon, and it used to be that 12-hour deal overnight, and they just bring in all these guests? What if I did that by myself? And I just like, 40YO Bcastathon or Schmidtcastathon or something, or who knows? And I just talked for 12 hours. Would you guys want that? At what point would I fucking die? Seriously, let's think. I would have to just fucking be mainlining to stay the fuck awake. Or I could probably stay awake that entire fucking time. I just don't know if I could be interesting or funny. Fuck, I barely made it through a half hour at this point. With interesting or funny. But anyway, when I do that and I go on the road, I kind of like to work loose, which is silly. You know, I have some structure with a lot of the stuff I'm going to do. It's like when I say I'm going to write some jokes. If I go on the road, the first half hour to an hour is about the venue or getting there, kind of the trip that got me to the building. And then I'll have a story planned or 2 stories or whatever the fuck I have. I'm still haven't decided what I'm going to do live in 2016 and try to figure out a way to go around it, writing a whole new show. Look, folks, this is what happens when you have so much time on your hands. This is what happens when a block away from your first live show in months, you decide to change it up and do a completely different thing. Because, God forbid you have some sort of structure or focus. So, I pull in and I park. And you know what? I got up to a good start when I got to the venue because, I grabbed a couple of bottles of water out of my car and I went to walk in and the bouncers stopped me. And actually one of them put his hand on my chest, weirdly enough. He goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I put his hand on my chest and he goes, you can't go in with those, bro. And I said, pardon me? And he goes, yeah, you can't bring the water in. And I look, you know me. Normally at that point I would have fucking had a weird fucking crazy fit and been like, what the fuck, man? It's just fucking water. But that's old me. That's young me. That's old and young me. That's young me or previous me. I don't want to say old me. That's previous me. But I have to admit, I had that weird flash when he put his hand on me, and then he's like, "Yeah, you can't bring the water in." I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, bro, no water in. We got a bar." And I wanted to go. I'm a performer. Like, there's all these different things. I try to. And I had that Rolodex in my head where I'm like, well, I'm a performer. Well, I'm on the show. Well, I know the person who's booking the club. She's been here 10 years. Like all those things I could have said. And you know what I did, folks? Here's what I did. I went, oh, okay. And I turned around, I walked back to my car and I put the water away. Who's growing up, folks? Daddy's little baby is all grossed up because I didn't punch a bouncer over telling me I couldn't bring my water into the goddamn club. What a guy, huh? Look at me giving myself a gold goddamn star and a pat on the fucking back. So I went and I put this stuff in the car. I didn't even fucking question it. And I didn't get mad. There was my fucking blood pressure didn't go up. I didn't get upset. I was proud of myself. This is the weirdest fucking little victory in the world, I'm sure, for you guys. But for me, I recognized it for what it was. It was a departure from who I usually am. Because you know me, I'm a dude who fucking, when everybody's like, hey, dude, you should get to fill this out. And I'm like, well, I don't think I should fill that out. And they go, no, fuck, you got to fill this out. And I'll walk out. I'll walk the fuck out. Rather than fill out your form or do the thing that you think I'm supposed to do because nobody tells me what the fuck to do. You know who I am? I'm fucking Jennifer Grey. And I, I'm sure Swayze couldn't lift me, but he's certainly not going to put me in the corner. Nobody's going to put me in the fucking corner. And if I want to give Cynthia Rhodes an abortion, I'll fucking do it. I'll put on the meat gloves. I'll put on the meat packing gloves and reach in there and do the goddamn thing myself. I don't need to cut fucking Jory Orbach in on the action. I'll just get over there and I'll say, hey, do me a favor. Do one of those split kicks that you do. When she does the splits, I'll just boom, reach right up there and there we go. End of baby and let's dance. Do the splits, reach up there, end of baby, let's dance. That's how I rewrite Dirty Dancing. Because nobody puts Schmitty in the corner. Nobody, Stella. But instead, man, I was fine with it. Like, he's like, you can't. And again, I know it sounds dumb to consider that some sort of victory, to be like, yeah, I didn't get mad at the guy who told me to put my water away. But for me, that's progress, man. And I'm making tiny steps of progress. According to Shannon. She sort of. I should bring her in for a little fucking stint. Nah, she barely wants to talk to me on Mondays. I don't think she wants to come in here and talk to you guys. And this is a session anyway, right? That I don't have to pay for. You guys are paying for the privilege of this therapy session, right? That's a lot of rights. So I walk in to the venue after putting my water in the car like a good boy. And I go in, I see our friend Tom, and I see some other people who are there and lurking, and I say hello to them. I say hello to Claire, the bartender. I see Lily Von Stupp. Here's something that I do a lot that I have to stop doing. I shouldn't do it anymore. Well, here's the thing. I was doing it for a while. All right, fuck. When I went to see the Dirty Birdie Story Hour the last time, when I went to actually see it so I could get booked, and I talked about that in a previous show. Lily, she leaves her stuff on the bar and she'll go in the back and talk to the dancers and whatever the fuck. She always leaves her phone up there because she collects Square cash when people come in and people use credit cards for their tickets and she uses Square to let them pay. Well, she leaves her phone up there with the stuff. She'll be like, hey, watch my stuff. And she'll walk away. Well, I I know Lily's phone security code. And I've known it for years, all right? And I've done this before. I've done it a few times, but when I did it at Dirty Birdie Story Hour, what I did was, because here's what I've done in the past, all right? I've taken her phone when she walks away, and I will just, I will put in the code, and then I will just take selfies of myself, just smiling or standing there or making a face or pointing at the lens, and I don't do anything with them. I literally just take them, they go into her camera roll, and I don't know if she fucking puts her fucking photos on her computer or if she looks through them, but at some point she's going to see me just smiling and go, what the fuck? Where did this come from? Because I don't do anything stupid. It's not like I flip her off or show her my cock. It's just like literally just my face. And I because it's almost, it's like this little calling card. Like, guess what? I know your code, and you know I know your code, and haha. But I do it all the time. I mean, I used to do it when I'd be at her house doing in the oldest building in Hollywood. I started doing it. She would go use the restroom, and I just take a fucking photo of me with a microphone. But when I really did it was at the club, when I would bounce or whatever, and I'd help out over there, I would grab her phone and I would take a photo of myself. One time I took a photo of myself taking a selfie of myself with my phone, and I left that on her phone. And she never said a fucking word to me. That was the thing. It was funny. So, because I thought maybe she wasn't noticing them, like maybe she wasn't finding them anywhere on there. Or she was just fucking erasing them. Like I picture her going through her photo roll and just going, you fucking jag off, but not giving me the satisfaction of letting me know that she, I had gotten her and she had seen it and all that. She was still just going to fucking delete them and go, yeah, no, dick, I'm not playing your fucking game. So, I was not discouraged by this lack of attention. I was going to keep doing it until she fucking said something to me or mentioned it, and that was my thing. So I would take these photos and I would surreptitiously keep them buried in her camera roll, and I would never say anything, and she would never say anything to me. But here's my other favorite part of it. She never changed her fucking phone code. Like, she knew I knew it. She knew I was taking photos. But she would never change her phone code because that was another thing where she was like, fuck you, dude. You're not going to make me change my fucking code because I don't care. You're not getting the best of me here. Yes, you can play your stupid game, but I will let you take 1 or 2 selfies every 4 months rather than change my entire fucking phone code to throw you off. So I loved this, just the stubborn line in the sand she drew where she's like, yeah, fuck that, man. I'm absolutely not doing this. Hey, you know what? I'm recording late. I should probably talk to Mex about artwork, right? All right. I'm gonna do that right now, actually.
Hey, this is Louie the Elf, and you're listening to The 40-Year-Old Boy on the Mike Schmidt Podcasting Network. Not only is Lily on the naughty list, but Santa wants her to autograph it for him. Nice.
Okay, so right now is a relative term. I did talk to David about artwork. I actually paused the show and I'm like, all right, you know what, dude? Because that was one take. All of that you just heard was me just rolling, man, unleashing the bees and flying. And then I went, you know what, dude? You got to talk about the artwork because it's getting to be late here. And you know, there's a 2-hour time difference, and I got to get him on board. And I don't know if you want to know about the machinations behind the show. I don't know. Although this whole show's been about how Lily didn't fucking show up. So what the fuck? What am I thinking? What am I even doing? So I stopped down. And I contacted a lovely David, and then we had to talk for like an hour about stuff. We had to talk about, there's all sorts of other artwork coming up and all sorts of ideas. We have ideas, folks. I'm an idea man, Chuck. You know that. And so David's acquiring the tuna fish. I'm acquiring the mayonnaise that we're going to feed it. It's going to be great. We're going to be fantastic. But I talked to him for about an hour, and then when I'm done talking to him, it was like 9:30 p.m. my time. And by the way, I said, hey, is there a chance at artwork tonight? Because I'm going to bed at midnight, his time. So then we talked till 9:30, which is 11:30. He's like, dude, all right, I better go do this artwork. And I'm like, yes, you should. So then at 9:30, here's what I did. I went to myself, hey, you know what? I didn't eat all day yesterday because I'm a smart person. I had some yogurts in the morning, some. I had a passel of yogurts. I had a murder of yogurts. Isn't that what it's called? I think that's what it is. I don't know. It was a pride. I had a pride of yogurts. I ate that in the morning. So I was hungry, and it was 9:30, and once it gets past a certain time, your choices kind of deteriorate. And I don't like to do fast food, but you're going to make fun of me for fucking saying that. I try to avoid fast food, but if it got past 10 o'clock, that would be the choices, and the best one would have been In-N-Out Burger. But I had In-N-Out last week, and by had it, I should say I bought it, because I bought it, and I came home, because from Ubering, I've been all fucking, I Uber like 12 hours, and then I come home with food, and I'm like, all right, I should be fine now. And then I take a bite of a hamburger and I fall asleep in the chair. Dude, I am such a fucking grandfather. It's ridiculous to me. I should just, when I come home, I should just sit in the chair and start whittling. Like, I should just have like a fucking, I should carry a pocket knife and change and hard candy, because I pass the fuck out in the chair, man, in shoes and in a jacket and everything. I'll turn the TV on, I'm like, all right, I'll watch some show, and I'm out. And I'll tell you this, I brought home, like I said, an In-N-Out burger. Dude, there's nothing. I mean, it's so good. In-N-Out is fucking really good, and it's a good hamburger, and it's good for you. That's a lie, probably ostensibly good for you, and the fact that it keeps you alive, and it's food, and it's nutrition and vitamins. But it's probably not healthy for you. But it's the healthiest choice in the middle of the night. It's better than a fillet of fish slathered in goddamn tartar sauce from I don't know where. I apologize. I do know where. It's from Tartar, Connecticut. So I as good as the In-N-Out burger is, if you eat one bite of it and then you fall asleep, and then you wake up with like bits of it in your mouth because you didn't really digest it or swallow it properly, there's nothing worse, dude, than waking up and catching that whiff of like 6-hour hamburger sitting on the table next to your fucking chair. I mean, it is just, leave any fast food out, any taco. I mean, I remember when we were kids, you'd bring home a pizza and then you'd eat it and then you'd fucking just go to bed and we'll clean up in the morning, and then you'd wake up. When I say a kid, by the way, I'm talking about like when I was 22. And there'd be pizza, and you just look at it, it just looked congealed. Dude, I mean, I guess any food that you leave out is going to look congealed and terrible, but there's just something about fast food that when you leave it overnight or you leave it on a countertop, it turns into modern art. It looks like you could just hang it on the wall and someone would be like, oh boy, that just looks laminated and terrible, because it just, all the grease congeals on it, and it just, the stink, the smell. Because I get, In-N-Out, I get double onions, man. I get a grilled onion and a raw onion, and then a ketchup and a tomato. Sorry, I'm yawning. So, whatever the fuck. So, who cares what I get at a fucking burger joint? But, why not? We're going there now. So, 9:30 last night, I'm like, and yes, last night, that's a clue to where we're at right now. 9:30 last night, I'm like, all right, I hang up with Dave, and I go, you know what? I could wait, finish the show, and then go get some food later, but then my choices would be limited. Or I can go now and run to Five Guys really quick. Because I had Five Guys in my brain, because when I Uber, I drive past it all the fucking time, and I actually kind of like it. Fuck it, I really like it. It's burgers and fries. Who the fuck doesn't like it? So I said, all right, I'm going to, because they close at 10. So I'm like, fuck, I'll zip over there quick. I'll come home and I'll eat a hamburger, and then I'll do the show. And I run over to Five Guys and I place my order and I get it. They're very friendly too, by the way, at Five Guys. I like them a lot. I grab my food, I come home and I sit down and I eat it on the chair. And as I'm eating it, I'm like, kind of like, all right, well, I'm plotting what I'm going to do. I got to get up and do the rest of the show. And I'm waiting for Dave to send the artwork. And then guess what happened? Guess. I'll give you one guess. No, I don't even give you one fucking guess. I just tell you, I fucking crashed, man. Because I got back here at like 10 o'clock. I sat down and I ate. And by the time I was done eating, it was like 10:40. Because I have to eat slow, man. I can't just choke down a burger. It's like 10:45. So at 10:45, I'm like, all right, man, I got to go finish the rest of the show. And I'm like, all right, well, I can do that. But, I'm going to close my eyes for just a second. Because I was full of burger now. Because I was tired and full of burger. Because the night before I had Ubered. I Ubered for like 14 hours on Monday. And I'll tell you about it. Oh, no, it wasn't. No, it was almost 12 hours. It would have been 14 hours. I'll get to that. But I wound up on the chair and crashed out asleep. And finally I like woke up at 4:15 in the morning, and I was still like really groggy, which was fucking terrible. And Jill had texted me, and she's just like, hey, I haven't heard from you. Hope you're okay. And, there's no show. And I'm like, I texted her back. I said, I love you. I kind of crashed in the chair. And, okay, I love you. And then I literally nodded off again with the phone on my chest. And then we woke up this morning. Hey, we woke up and we realized, guess what? There's no fucking show. And not only is there no show, the show's not even fucking done. You got to go finish it, dude. You got to go talk and bang out the rest of the goddamn show. What the fuck is your problem? So, David sent the artwork. I'll tell you that. The artwork has arrived. Remember I took a breakdown to go and say, hey, Dave sent the artwork? I think he sent it 9 hours ago. So we've had it. It's not his fucking fault. It's not Lily's fault. This is my fucking fault. So I apologize. And then I threw it up on Facebook to apologize, and some of you saw that. But there are some of you out there right now who are just like, where's the show? And I received 2 emails already this morning, and I had to answer those. And now we're here doing the rest of the show. So that was me. I guess that's me just recapping what an idiot I am, right? Is that just me telling you what the fuck? Because I through the magic of podcasting, I could have very easily just taken up where I'd left off. But instead, I have to give you this interlude and tell you exactly what the fuck happened, that I fell asleep eating a hamburger. How about that? How about 7 minutes about me falling asleep eating a fucking hamburger? You ever wake up with burger in your mouth? Holy fuck, is that awful. I've fallen asleep in mid-chew. I have. I imagine there's people who've fallen asleep with like a dip in. I used to know some people who like slept with cough drops in their mouth, and I would warn them, be like, dude, you're gonna totally choke on that. I mean, even though not, recognizing the fucking, it's gonna dissolve in your mouth. That's what it's built for. So I don't know. Fuck, who am I? Medical expert? Throat expert? I'm none of those things, as you can tell by my goddamn voice. So, getting back to what we were talking about before I took a 12-hour break to have a fucking hamburger. I do this thing with Lily's phone where I take all the photos. And I just leave them on there, and I don't even think about it, and I think it's funny to me. It's even funnier to me, again, like they said, that she has not changed her code, that she has not even mentioned it to me. So, like, I kind of was on the fence. Like, I didn't know if she was just being cool about it, like, oh, this idiot, and she just erases them, or if she really didn't notice, and one day she was going to go into her phone and see that there was, like, 11 selfies of me throughout the years. Just fucking, she'd be like, what the, and then... So I was not sure about that. So when I saw her at the Dirty Birdie Story Hour, or no, it was actually when I went to watch Dirty Birdie Story Hour the first time to get booked. She walked away and left her phone on the counter, and I picked it up. And so this time, because I'm a dick, I took a photo of myself, and then I made it her screensaver. I made it her wallpaper for her phone. And then put it on the counter and just waited. Like, I was going to leave because I had to go and I was going to go Uber, but I waited. I just sat there and waited. It was because it was in between the Dirty Birdie Story Hour and the Monday Night Teas, and I waited for her to pick up her phone just to notice it. So she comes out, she's walking around, she's in business Lily mode, so she's doing this, and she's pointing, and she's getting lights set up, and they're setting up props, and she's yelling, and she's getting tickets, and she's getting things. And finally, I'm just standing there by the bar. She's like, "You leaving?" I go, "I am." And she goes, "Okay." And she picks up her phone, and I just like, I'm so excited, and she hits it. And my face just lights up under the clock on the iPhone, and just like me pointing. And it was the culmination of a life's work, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. Of just me like constantly putting photos on her phone. I didn't know if she ever saw them. I didn't know if she was ever going to say anything. I had no idea. So this time I was like, fuck it, I'm forcing the issue. I'm actually going from just burying it in the camera roll to making myself front and goddamn center. I am the screensaver now, damn it. And she hits her phone, and here's the thing. I don't know what I expected. I thought she'd laugh, maybe, or she'd just be like, oh man. But she just hits the phone and she just goes, oh. I looked at her. I go, what? And she goes, why do you fucking do this? She was like pissed at me, and I go, well, because it was funny to me. She goes, it's not funny, And the photo that was my screensaver, it's like now I got to go in my camera roll and find it because I took so long for me to find it and make it and. So I annoyed her. Like, I pissed her off. And here's the thing. What I was doing should annoy her. It should make her go, what the fuck? Are you a child? You got to have so many photos of you on my goddamn phone and change my screensaver. But I guess I expect her to go, huzzah, Mike, you're hilarious. Thank you for making my screensaver your stupid face. I don't know what I thought. Well, I know I did think that. I actually thought what I always think. Everybody should think that my shenanigans are hilarious, and then I should just go ahead and high-five me and carry me out on their shoulders and throw confetti and buy me a taco. That's what I think everybody should fucking do. But instead, everybody are just like annoyed by me. Oh, dude, really? You put that fucking photo as my screensaver? Yeah, I did. Isn't that funny? No, it's not funny at all. It's just now I got to go ahead and find that other picture. I'm like, oh, dude, how world weary are you? I know you're going to be 50 in a couple of weeks, but smile. It's funny. It's not, but and I know it's not even funny. It's not like a joke. It's just a prank or being stupid, and I'm not a prank guy. But I guess I just expected more than, you fucking idiot. I don't know, maybe. I guess I expect a lot more of that throughout my entire life. I never expect to get, you fucking idiot, even though I get it so often. It's like when I'll do something silly with Jill, and I totally... I don't know if I just think I'm precious or I just think I'm the best thing in the world. I mean, I kind of like me and the silly things that I do, but I'll do silly things with Jill. And like I said, I always wonder because she's not dated an idiot. You know what I mean? She's dated men who build things and fucking do their, I don't know, they pay their child support and they bartend and they work in factories and whatever the fuck. That's who she's dated. She actually, I found this out. Dude, she used to date a professional hockey player. Okay? She mentions that, and then she tells me his name. I know who it is. Like, I fucking know who the dude is. And I just went, I saw that guy play. Like, I knew. And she's just like, yeah. I'm like, holy shit. I don't know if I want to know any more about your past life. I probably should just throttle it down and not ask any more fucking questions. Because all of a sudden it opens up like, where did you meet that person and when and but how did that, you know what I mean? It just whatever. Because again, you just all you care about is the present. You shouldn't care about the past at all. You just care about what's going on now, and at least that's the way it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? You don't want to be like, hey, how big was everybody's dick that you fucked? You know what I mean? You're that's just not. No matter if it goes through your brain in a flash or if you think about it, you just go, no, man. Just are you doing the job now? Are you happy now? I hope so because I think I'm doing. That's fine. You know what I mean? You can't concern yourself with whether they were happy or sad. I mean, and I ask questions because I'm interested in that sort of thing. You know, I mean, she doesn't have to ask me because on this fucking show, that's all I talk about is the past. Fuck. So, Lily, with Jill, I'll do something silly in the car. I'll do something foolish, and I'll just get that face where she just kind of looks at me and she just goes, "You are definitely interesting," which I don't. Man, I don't know if that's good at all. I don't know if it is or it isn't. She's still around, so I guess partially it's good. I'm doing something right, but. Eventually, you know, when she goes and meets a professional basketball player, she'll be like, yeah, I dated this idiot who pretended he was soup in a hot tub. And that guy's going to look at her and just be like, yeah, that's unbelievable. Anyway, let's go get in a limousine. I don't know if a pro basketball player has a limousine. He may have a giant Range Rover. I don't know who he is. I haven't even identified the guy. You know what? Bullshit. She's dating Kristaps Porzingis from the Knicks. 23-year-old dude came up and scooped her away. And by said 23, I mean 17, right? He's a kid. He's 19? I don't fucking know. He's a filthy European who plays for the Knicks, 7'3". That'd be fine. He's 7'3", she's 5 feet tall. That'd be a good photo for Christmas. Why have I put her with that guy? I don't know. I'm an idiot. So here we are in the morning, and we're doing a show, and we're talking about Lily. And so I show up at the Dirty. So she did that with the phone. She was pissed, and I won't fuck with her phone anymore. I guess is the moral of that story. I don't even know why the fuck I started telling you. So I get to Dirty Birdie Story Hour on Monday. And I told you all the people that were there. I changed up what I was going to fucking do. Right up like a block away, I changed my story and decided I was going to go in a different direction. Because I started to think about, as I start to think of jokes, I start to go, well, this could work with this and this could work with that. And it's tough to explain how my fucking brain works. So I get there, I got stiffed for the water, walk in the club, and the show starts. And Susanna Lee is the host of the show, and Susanna Lee is not only a comedian, but she also is how do I put this delicately? She's a sex worker, I guess. I don't know if that's, well, I mean, it must be common knowledge. She's telling the stories on stage. She works in a peep show. And so she tells a story on stage about meeting a guy at the peep show and taking him in the back and doing stuff. And I don't want to blow her story, but that was the story she told to kick off the Dirty Birdie Story Hour. So as she's telling the story, I'm listening in the back. And, I like to play off things that happen in the moment. I like to always kind of bring things back to something that the people may have heard and throw a little twist on it or something. So as she's telling her story, I'm up in the seats, and in my brain, I started to write a story about what if I was the guy that she met at the peep show. And so in my head I go, that's what I'm going to, I changed my mind again. Yes, I changed my mind a block from the fucking club, but now I changed my mind as the show is going on. I go, I'm going to do a 10-minute story about being the guy at the peep show. I'm going to just create like this whole thing. And I sat there and I pieced it together. I was going to say put it and pieced it. I said pussed it together. That's bad. I didn't puss anything together. But so I'm writing the story up in the loft, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, I could do this, and I'll say this, and I went here, and I did that. But then part of me was upset because I knew what I wanted to do. I liked my initial decision, but I really liked what I changed to. And I didn't want to lose that. And it also seemed kind of disingenuous to tell a story at a storytelling show that wasn't true. Like I just made it up just for a twist. But I wanted to do it so badly just to hear the people as it unfolded. And then finally I got to the punch where, it basically was the same punch that she had. Then they'd just be like, oh, but then I also thought, well, are they going to feel fooled? Are they going to be like, oh, God damn it, that guy fucking reeled us in. But so I came up with the best of both worlds. Well, it's not even the best of both worlds. I don't want to sound like I'm fucking good, but I went on stage and I just spent the first minute talking about what I had done that day, and I said I went to a peep show to get into character for tonight's show, and I went and found the most raw chick I could, and then when I did the punch on it, it got a really good laugh because people realized that what I was talking about had started to unfold. Who cares? You don't care. I'm just here's how stories are told. Whatever the fuck. And then I did my thing, and it went really well. I tell you what, again, it was one of those things that made me go, fuck, I got to be performing more often. I should be out in clubs. I should be doing stuff. And I hit the post on it. She was like, you know, it's an 8-minute story. She goes, no longer than 10. And I was the last guy, and I did like 10 minutes and 3 seconds, which was, perhaps 2 minutes and 3 seconds too long, but it worked and it did exactly what I needed to do. But if you take out the thing I had made up about her, I probably hit the post at 8 minutes. It made me happy. But it was good, and it was funny. Lily filmed it. She filmed me on her phone. And she's like, hey, do you want that video? Like, do you want to post it? And I said, I don't know. I said, let me take a look at it. And she's like, no, it's really good. You're funny. And I go, it doesn't matter how funny I am. You know, if you're standing in a club and it's the angle, there's all sorts of shit you have to fucking take into account, you know. And if you put something up, it's up forever. You know, it's not one of those things that disappears. And all it takes is one person to see you and go, you suck. Because, you know, like there's comedy. You know, there's still stuff online of me from, I don't even fucking know. I'm doing jokes about George Allen, a former senator from Virginia, like political material that's completely not topical anymore, but it exists. It's out there. What was it? Comedy? It wasn't Comedy or Die. I don't even remember the fucking Effin' Funny. Maybe that's what it was, Effin' Funny. I don't know. Some site I did stand up for, and they used me in their fucking website. So go find it. There's stand up of me on the web somewhere lurking. But Lily's like, you should post this. I'll fix it and I'll send it to you. And then she didn't. And then I wrote her and I said, hey, because I anticipated her coming over for the show. I thought she was going to solve it, and then she could not. So then I wrote and I said, hey, is there anything not? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. That's me doing Heath Ledger as the Joker when they say that he's crazy. So I said to Lily, please, you know, I said, is there anything to that video? She goes, I'll dub it and I'll send it. So she sent it and I watched it. And I can't. Because here's the thing. You know, it's just me talking and I'm okay. You know, it's not some fucking bring the house down performance. I did what I wanted to do. But it went, like I said, it went well, especially, you know, I don't get on stage very often, so it turned out to be okay. But Lily filmed it. And she used her phone. I will tell you, I am amazed, kind of astonished at the video quality that you can get from a phone. Because it just, I mean, it's even the sound. I mean, you can hear me perfectly, and it's in focus. It's really kind of almost scary. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, half the battle of getting a video was, oh my God, I got to find a camera. I got to borrow a camera from somebody, and then you got to set it up on a tripod and all that shit. Dude, Lily walked from the fucking bouncer door over to the front row, and she grabbed a table, and she filmed me from there. And it's this crazy quality. I mean, I don't, and you know, it's not like it's a fucking movie quality like you show it on a movie screen, but at the same time, it's kind of astonishing for a handheld device. Although I guess a video camera is a handheld device. Fuck, shut up. The point is, I'm surprised that the quality was so good. But here is the drawback, and you are going to laugh at this probably. And the reason I don't think I can use it or post it, because Lily is the one filming me. She's closer to the phone than I am. And I don't know if you know this, Lily thinks I'm really funny. So she laughs, you know, at the whole performance or reacts to it because she likes live comedy and she likes live shows. And so I'll do a bit or I'll do a line or whatever, and she laughs like, you know, loudly. I mean, you hear her on the show. Well, imagine if she was the one holding the microphone and I was in the, you know, kind of in the distance. She's very prevalent and very prominent, and to the point where, and again, this has always been an issue where I've had people say, you know, oh my God, she doesn't think you're that funny. Well, no, she does. You know, that's the whole point. You know, that's one of the reasons why the show is better when she's here, is because I can spin off of her reactions to me because she thinks I'm really funny. Well, she thinks I'm funny live, so then she's filming it, and she's laughing so much it appears that like she's a plant almost, where it's like, hey, do me a favor, go film me and laugh your balls off in case you know, just nobody else does. pretend I'm the funniest fucking guy in the world. When in reality, she thinks that I'm really funny, so she did laugh the way she would laugh. Whatever, who cares? I'm over-explaining. But that's why I don't think I should post the video because, as decent as the quality is, and I liked this, what I did. I don't. Man, she's laughing throughout, and it really, honestly, if it was a demo for Lily to get hired as somebody who laughs at people, I would absolutely put it up. I would say, go ahead, there you go. This is a demo tape of my friend laughing, and you should definitely hire her to be in your audience. If anybody wants to do that, they want to book an audience member, go ahead and send me your information. I'll shoot you over the fucking video. You can watch it and go, yep, she's the one for us. Oh, God. Fuck you, arm. Sorry. Even in the morning. See, look, I can't get my shit together even with the chair arm in the morning. Fuck. But I did the show and it went really well. And I mean, if they're doing the show next year, I'll probably go back and do it again. And then you can come. And maybe we'll go on a tour. And I'll go and tell dirty stories all over the goddamn universe. Why not, right? Right. Because if there's anything this universe is waiting for, it's for me to get into a caravan and travel around telling it stories about my cock. That's right. Telling the universe stories about my cock. Go ahead, reach out. Reach out to anybody you know. Go to the rich, the poor, the insolvent, the affluent. Go and say, hey, what are you waiting for? Go to farmhouses, go to palaces. Go to mansions, go to shacks. Knock on doors, ask them, hey, what are you guys waiting for? They're going to go, you know what, we're waiting for unknown comedian Mike Schmidt to show up and tell us stories about his cock. Oh, I can't tell you. We plant the crops in the summer. We wait for them to grow. We harvest the corn, and another harvesting season has gone by without Mike Schmidt showing up to talk about his fucking cock. It's so depressing for us. So that's what people want. So maybe, just maybe, they book this tour, and I ride on a bus and I write all these filthy stories about me and jerking off. Yay! Yay! How weird is that? So anything to get me from Ubering, please just do that. I'll even drive the fucking bus. It won't be like Uber. I'll drive the bus. Fuck, I've got enough experience the past 3 years driving shit. It's funny because Ubering here in Los Angeles, and then I've talked about doing it in Milwaukee by Jill. Like I've talked to her about possibly, changing if there's a rule, because it says in my app that I can drive in other cities, but you have to have I think I got to have insurance and registration and license and all that stuff over there to do it. And we talk about it, and she's like, that's actually a pretty good idea, because she'll work 12-hour days and I'm at the house, you know what I mean? And then I just I wait for her to finish working, and then I go pick her up. She's like, honey, you could do that. You could come here and you could Uber and we could make money. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It's a really good idea. And then we stop talking about it, and she'll fall asleep, and I sit there and I stare and I think to myself, fuck, is that what you are? Is that what you are? You're hoping you can be a multi-state Uber driver? Jesus Christ. Because I'm telling you, the whole thing's a house of cards. I've talked about it before. That whole thing is falling apart. It's just a matter of time. I mean, they keep offering bigger and bigger bonuses to trick people into driving, and it's just, and I'll do it, and I will happily take the money as much as and as often as I can. But when I think about doing it in Milwaukee, because going there is kind of the respite from real life a little bit. Because I get to go there and be with the woman I love and cohabitate, and we sleep together, and everything's great, and we'll go out and hold hands, and we'll go and we have fun. It's fun. It's totally fun for me. Like, she'll fall asleep, and I'll just sit there with a fucking bowl of Oreos and watch TV, and I get to rub her legs, and I pretend that we're an actual living, breathing couple in one spot, and not having to fucking conquer time and space and oceans to get to one another all the fucking time every 2 weeks. So I just the thought of Ubering, even though she's at work, like, because when I take her to work and then I come home to the quiet house, and then I get to climb back into the flannel sheets and I go to sleep. It's and then I wait for my girl to come home. I mean, there's romance there. But if I were to go and then have to take her to work and then come home and I don't know, put a thermos full of soup in my car and then drive in the fucking snow and Uber people around Milwaukee. Like, I understand that's who I am. It's what I've become. It's what I have to do now. It's not who I am as a person all the time. I mean, I'm a guy who tells stories about his cock and makes people laugh. That's who I am. But unfortunately, to pay the bulk of my bills, to bring in the most money that I possibly can, I'm Uber Barbecue. I'm Travis Uber. But to do it multi-state, like, to have to go through the hoops and jump and go, hey, can I do it in Milwaukee? And then if I drop Jill off at work and then I drive for 12 hours to do it. And look, the last thing she wants to fucking hear is me bitching about this. She works like 13, 14-hour days at work. She takes all the overtime that she can. She's different from me because she has a work ethic and she sees the forest through the trees. I just keep walking into the same fucking tree over and over and falling down, laughing and standing up, and walking into the same fucking tree over and over and laughing and falling down and standing up. So, and I think it frustrates her, man. That's my guess. I don't know. I have no fucking clue. We kind of talk about it. She says it doesn't, and a lot of that is shit that's in my head. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, oh, well, what did that mean? Or what did that say? And I have 4 agreements. Don't make assumptions. Be precise with your words. You know, I recognize all those things are very important. I know what I'm supposed to do, and I have to fucking do it. But it you and don't take anything personally, and don't always do your best. Yes, but if your best is driving a fucking Uber, whatever, you don't want to hear me fucking whining. But when I talk to her, I can, she'll even say, because I go there for like 2 weeks. I'm going there for 2 weeks at the end of the month, and but while I'm here, I need to work like every goddamn waking hour so I can go ahead and pay my bills here in Los Angeles to go and be with her in for Christmas and New Year's, which, I love and I really want to do it. It's just I'm as a person, I'm trying to become that guy who just does. I see those guys who are like farmers or guys who are factory workers, like I said, and they get up at 4. My stepdad, I told you, I used to sleep at his house when we were all living there. We'd play Nintendo all fucking night and listen to Pearl Jam, and then we'd pretend we were sleeping while he came downstairs at 5 a.m. to go to work a 12-hour shift at the nuclear plant. It's just who he was. It's who he was his whole life. You know what I mean? And he hated coming downstairs and seeing his 4 dumb fuck stepkids sleeping on, in the house because they were all broke and had no futures. And I respect that. It's just I never learned it, and I'm not that. Mex and I have this conversation all the time because Mex, he worked, at an advertising agency for a long time, and now he's home. So he has kids, and he has to get up, and he has to make sure the kids go to school, and he has to make lunches, and he has to make dinner, because his wife works, and you just do it. You just fucking do it, and I mean, I know that you're just supposed to, I guess I shouldn't even be talking about philosophies of life here. I mean, look, I know you work, you pay your bills. That's how it fucking works when you're an adult, when you're 48. When you're 50 years old, that's what you fucking do. But multi-state Uber driver was not what I envisioned. But who cares? Nobody's doing anything that they wanted to do, right? Nobody's happy. Nobody did what they wanted. I mean, I'm happy in other aspects, but you're not happy with that. But I mean, you got to change it. Fuck, shut up. There's a lot of circles. See, this is what happens when Lily's not here. I spiral off into fucking nonsense. I was driving Uber the other night. It's just you find yourself reflecting. You find yourself looking philosophically. Because I would say 85% of the Uber people don't want to talk. It kind of cracks me up. Like I thought, I was really worried. I was like, oh Christ, I'm gonna have to fucking talk to everybody when that's all I do is fucking talk. So that would be the easiest thing, right? Well, no, fucking imagine sitting in a car in silence for people for 19, 20 miles and they get in the car and I'll open up a dialogue right away. And it's just a speech that I give and then I'll shut up. But it's so weird to me that people, because they don't even have earbuds in. Like these people, I get on a plane and I see people without earbuds and I go, that's the terrorist. That's the person who's going to kill him. Because if you can get on a 4-hour flight without any earbuds, you probably don't think that's going to be a 4-hour flight. You're the one with the bomb in your fucking luggage. You know something bad's going to happen because there's no way you would tackle 4 hours without stimulus. You can't. You fucking can't. So if you see anybody who gets on a fucking plane without a laptop or an iPod, that is the person to fucking worry about. Fuck religion. I just want to find the person who thinks that they can have idle time for 4 hours and not fucking do anything to quiet the voices in their fucking skull. You got to be kidding me, right? How can you get on a fucking plane without earbuds or a laptop in this day and age, without music or stimulus or anything? It drives me crazy. I see them and I go, that's the fucking motherfucker I got to worry about. And so when I get in the Uber and people get in and I go, hey, look, if you want the radio turned on, turn off, turn up, whether you want the heat on or off, whatever. And then I go, okay, thanks. That's my speech. And we drive and they'll sit in the back seat and nobody requests new music. Nobody, I mean, like I said, about 15% of the people are involved, but 85% of the people just fucking sit there. No earbuds, no book. And sometimes in their phone, but a lot of times just staring out the fucking window. And that makes me think that all they are anybody doing that is, you know what they are? They're an Uber driver in training because they are at their own crossroads in their life. And they are watching the world go by as they get driven home for fucking $8, trying to figure out what their next move is going to be. because they sit in the back and they wistfully stare out the window, and I hear fucking, Harry Nielsen singing, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so bad for them. Everybody's talking at them. That's what's happening as they stare out the window. They're just fucking John Voight in the back of a bus trying to figure out where their life went with Ratso in their fucking lap dying. Dude, I don't understand the no stimulus. And then they're not talking. And like, I don't want to be anybody's friend. I mean, I guess, but it just seems fucking strange. Sometimes you talk to people, and they ask questions about Uber, and I answer them, and I try to be as honest as I possibly can. I know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I tell them, about what my experience is. And I don't know if they're going to call, because here's the thing, I don't even know if they're going to call Uber to report me and tell my Uber boss. I mean, I don't think there is an Uber boss. I think there's the one dude who's the front man for the whole organization, and then there's this shadowy cabal behind him. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if all of a sudden they investigated Uber and it was run by the Mexican cartels and all the money went to run them. Seriously, I'm not kidding. If some horrible drug lord came up with this idea and then he had like 12 nerds make a fucking app for it, and then this money just gets funded into fucking buying guns for the frontline Mexican cartels, I would not be shocked. Because I know there's one CEO guy who's gone on, like I said, Colbert and stuff, and he's been booed or whatever. But every time I contact Uber, I get an email back from some Russian name or who the fuck it is, and sometimes it takes too long to answer. Sometimes it answers immediately, but they don't have any answers and they make you dance in circles. I mean, right now they owe me money. They owe me some kind of money. It's been fucking 3 weeks. I've been waiting for it. It's like, dude. And normally with any other place, you would just go there. You'd go, hey man, where the fuck is my cash? But there's nobody. It's this shadowy organization. It's these Uber overlords who they move from fucking building to building, shambling about in the night, calling. You know what they do? They take Ubers. That's what they do. And they don't tell you who they are. And you pick them up and they just fucking bring files and they transport them to and fro, waiting not to get caught by the fucking authorities. That's it. This whole thing's a card game, man. It's a fucking house of cards shell game waiting to be fucking collapsed. And I'm right there. I'm driving a Chrysler 200, and I'm a tool of the man. That's all I am, is I'm a corporate pawn. I'm a cog in the Uber machine, and I'm just fucking rolling, man. I can't wait till they get found out. And of course, although I guess I shouldn't say that, because once they do, then I'm really fucking boned. What the fuck am I going to do then? Go drive for a restaurant food service with a fucking t-shirt that says, I'm here from Jolt. Get the fuck out of here. You got to be kidding me. A t-shirt. I'm 50. I got to wear a t-shirt at a fucking job with your name on it? Get out! Ha ha! Fuck. It's like if the Uber made me wear a stupid hat. That's one reason I never did Lyft, and I still haven't called Lyft. I've got a fucking link from a friend. He's like, hey, use it and we'll both get money. I still haven't used it. Still. You know why? Because I didn't want that pink mustache on my fucking car. And everybody's like, well, you don't get the pink mustache anymore. But I see cars, they got a fucking neon pink mustache and they're fucking in their windshield. Look, it's bad enough. All right, things have gone off the fucking reservation a long time ago. I don't need to draw attention to it by putting on some fucking Wally Walrus fake pink mustache on my goddamn car. God damn it. If Uber made me wear a hat, I'd be digging ditches. I drove Tuesday night, a couple nights ago, and I drove all day, actually. Again, like I said, I drove like 12 hours, 11 hours. I don't know. Fuck. Blends together. And it was a good night. It was steady. I picked up a kid in downtown Los Angeles, and he had not ordered the Uber. The people in the office building did, and he got in, and you could just see that this kid was beaming with pride. Young guy. Gets in the car, and, he gives me his name, and I had to talk to the person who ordered the Uber, and she told me who to look for, and he got in. And he had braces, just a young, I want to say how old he was, but I guessed that I was right. Yeah, he's 22. What the hell? So, not that you're going to figure that out. 22-year-old kid with braces in Los Angeles? We know who this is. Mrs. Sue, lawsuit. But I picked him up in downtown LA, and then I had to drive him to East Los Angeles. And he wanted to talk, and he asked all sorts of questions about Uber, and I told him, and he said that was... And I said, were you applying for a job? Because I could just tell he had that vibe. And he said, I was. And I said, how did it go? He goes, I think I got it, but I don't know. They're going to call me tomorrow. He goes, they ordered the Uber for me to go home. And I go, how did you get here? And he goes, well, I had to take like 4 buses to get here. I said, wow, it's rough. And he goes, but this is really cool the way this works, this Uber. He goes, I could probably take it to and from work every day. That's great. When I dropped him off, the fucking fare was like $14. And in my head, I'm like, well, I don't know what kind of job you applied for, dude, but that's $28 a day. And if you work 5 days a week, it's $1.40. You might as well just buy a fucking car. And granted, he's 22. He might not have any fucking credit. I don't know. But he was very young and naive. But he was very happy because, again, he thought that the job interview went well. But he asked questions that were so, he asked how Uber was, and I told him, how I drove people, and I was as honest as I possibly could be, and I didn't want to, ruin it for him. And he's like, well, but you make your own hours. I said, yeah. And he goes, that's my goal. I said, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I want to be like you. I want to be my own boss. And he was so vibrant and full of life and so excited about the things and the possibilities in his future. I didn't want to tell him I am absolutely not my own boss. I mean, I might make myself get up and put my fucking fat ass in a car and drive around all day. That doesn't mean I'm my own fucking boss. The fucking phone company's my boss, and the cable company's my boss, and my landlord is my boss. Those are my bosses because, that's who I fucking answer to. I have to. If I was my own fucking boss, are you kidding me? I wouldn't be driving 22-year-old wide-eyed young new citizen of the world back to his home in East Los Angeles. That's not exactly what I would do. If I was my own, if I was my own boss, I'd give myself the day off. That's what I would do. Hey, you know what? You deserve a vacation. That's exactly what I would do if I was my own boss. Hey, you know what, man? You get the rest of the week off. Hey, thanks, man. And then when the bills came due, I'd go, what? My boss said it was okay to take time off. Well, we need to talk to him. Well, he's not here right now. I'm sorry. I couldn't possibly. But he was a good kid, and I get him to his house, and he goes, here's a tip for you. And he handed me $20. And I said, I don't want to say his name, but I went, hey, this is wrong. You don't have to do this. He goes, no, I understand. And I go, no. I go, it's built into the ride. And it's so funny. I never talk people out of giving me cash. I just don't. You want to give me cash, I'm going to take it, and we're going to be fine, and everybody's going to be happy. I'm going to shake your hand, and that's cool. But he tried to give me $20, and I went, and it was more than the ride. It was like, $6 more than the ride. And so I looked at him, I go, no. I go, it's cool. Keep this. I go, you're going to need it, especially if you're going back and forth to the job. And he goes, no. He goes, you're your own boss. And so you did a good job, and you were nice to me, and you answered my questions. And he goes, I want to tip you. I said, well, I don't have any change. And he goes, no, this is for you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. 22-year-old kid who lives in East LA with bars on his windows, applying for a low-level entry job in downtown Los Angeles, gives me $20. So I pulled over, I threw up my wallet, and I felt terrible taking it. I just did, because I need $20, but that kid's gonna need $20, especially with the way the world is now. That kid's really gonna need $20. At some point, he's gonna look and go, "Fuck, I wish I had $20." Although maybe not. He's a go-getter. Maybe he'll get that gig and he'll get promoted quick, and maybe 4 buses won't seem that bad. The day was steady. I drove, picked people up. It was weird because I'm experimenting on where to go. I've gone out and it's been very slow, and I've gone 5 hours and only had 5 people ping me for rides. And that's frustrating, Especially if they're short rides, because then, you're not making any dough. And like I said, I sat down and I figured it out. If you work a certain amount of time, you're going to make a certain amount of money. It just works out that way, because then I dropped him in East LA, and I tell you what, that's the place to be, because all of a sudden I grabbed 2 more people for rides that were close by. And then I grabbed another woman who took a long ride, and another woman who wound up. So, it adds up, man. You just got to be in the fucking car. But that's the drawback. You got to be in the fucking car. And I always talk about, well, I can write something, or I can answer people on email, or I can go Facebook, I can Twitter. It's wait, and no, man, you got to do your job. You got to make your money. You got to pay your bills, and you just hope that it's busy when you're out there. Because I've been out there wasting gas when it wasn't. But Tuesday was busy, so I drove, I picked people up, I drove them to bars, I picked up people from Europe, I picked up people, and some people want to talk, some people don't. Some people cram themselves in my car, some people just sit back there and don't say anything, some people sit right in the front fucking seat and talk to me. I drove a woman, I got pinged to pick up a woman, it was a man's name, and he called me, he said, hey, you're picking up my mother. She'll be outside of a convalescent home, so you'll know her, she's a little tiny woman, and she's Japanese. So I pick her up. She gets in the car, and she sits in the front seat. And I I had to drive her like 8 miles to her house, and she wanted to talk. And this woman told me how Uber was a really cool thing for her because she couldn't drive anymore, and she said that she used to drive in Los Angeles all the time, and she didn't like it, and she had to drive from her home in Burbank down to downtown Los Angeles for her job. And every day she would drive past Disney. And she thought it was a magical place. You know, when she grew up, she knew of it, and she, you know, she was around when it was formed and Disneyland opened, and then she would drive by and she'd think it was a really cool thing. And then finally one day she was driving, you know, round trip. She said it took her like 3 hours round trip to and from work in the daytime and the nighttime. She stopped at Disney and she went in to see if they needed any help. And she got hired and she worked there for the next 45 years. Cut her commute in half, made her happy. She got to work at this magical place. And she said that she was born in America, but her parents were Japanese. And she told me the story about how she had been put in the internment camps during World War II. And she had to go and stay in those. And like, surprisingly, no bitterness whatsoever. Just, you know, a matter-of-fact telling of it. And they lived in the internment camps, and then when they were finally released, her father, because the reason it came up was because she asked where I was from. I said Chicago, and she said, "Oh, I lived in Chicago. After we had been placed in the internment camps, my father wanted to move there because it seemed farther away from California. So they had to take the train from California to Chicago, and she mentioned that the train was really crowded, and she and her family were walking, and her mom found a car that had nobody on it. Like it was an empty train car. So sure, she brought her and her two sisters, her mom. They were traveling across to meet her dad in Chicago, and they sat down, and they were there for 5 minutes, very comfortable. And a porter came in, and he said, "Hey, you guys can't be in here." And she said, "Well, you know," her mom said, "Well, why not?" And they said, "Well, this is the colored car. You can't be in here." And she said they made us go stand in a different car with everybody else, even though the colored car was empty. And I just thought that that anecdote summed up the stupidity of racism in 20 seconds. You're a minority who's not allowed in the car that's reserved for another minority, even though it's empty. So you have to go stand out in the with kids, with children. You have to stand. They had to stand in a train car because there were no seats. They wouldn't let them in the other minorities. It's this weird Mobius strip of stupidity. You know, hey, we are a minority. We just got to have a fucking internment camp, and we can't now sit down in this car because it's for other minorities. And I don't know how African Americans would feel about that if they're like, "Yeah, man, it's our car, get out." You know what I mean? Like, hey, because you know what? Because I get like that, proprietary. Like, "Oh, no, fuck this. If this is mine, it's mine, and you can't fucking have it." So if they made them sit in a colored car, the coloreds might be like, you know, the coloreds, you know what I mean? The African Americans might be, fuck, I can't believe that happened. Now, look how easily that happened. Look how easily that fucking happened. If they had a colored car, and the African Americans were like, "Well, that's our fucking car, and even if we're not on the train, you can't sit in it." I don't like to think that anybody would be like that, but I could see if they were. Fuck, if anybody made you do something, then you'd be like, "Well, fuck it, I'm not sharing." It's like me on the Southwest plane when they made me buy a second seat, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give that seat to that guy." Fuck that! I paid for this seat; it's mine. So maybe I could see that sort of mindset if African Americans were all as fucking petty and mean as I am. But she told the story of, and with no trace of bitterness or anger. That's what her life was. She was in an internment camp, had a train to Chicago, came here, worked for Disney forever, and now she's getting shuttled around an Uber, and she thought it was a miracle. I look at it as a chore. I look at it as a burden. I look at it as something I have to do in order to maintain some sort of lifestyle. For her, it was a miracle that you could make a phone call and I would show up and it was comfortable, because she said that cabs were rude and they were mean to her and they took these wrong routes and she didn't trust anybody, and she trusted me. She said that to me. "I trust you." I don't know why. Maybe because I got out and I opened the car door for her. You know, because when the guy called me, he said, "You're picking up my mom. She's very young. She's tiny." And I said, "She's very old and she's very tiny." And I said, "Does she need help, like assistance?" And he goes, "What do you mean?" And I go, "Well, do I have to help her in and out of the car?" And he said, "Well, no, but that's nice of you to ask." And when I pulled up, I got out, I opened the door for her and I helped her into the car. And then when I pulled up to her house, I said, "Would you like me to get out and help you?" And she goes, "No, please don't." She goes, "It was nice that you did it the first time, but I'm quite capable," she said. And she leaned over and she handed me $1 in quarters and thanked me. And I said, you don't have to do this. You don't have to tip, really. And she said, no, I want to. She said, this is a miracle. You got me home. Thank you. And you were quite interesting, and I love Chicago. And she put 4 quarters in my hand and got out and went up to her house. And I watched her. I do it all the time. It's so, I don't know if that's creepy or weird. Like, because Lily tells me, because I told you I'm protective of Jill a lot, and I try to be, I don't know if it's chivalrous. I just think it's polite. Like, I'll watch, I'll even, I made the mistake, I don't say it anymore, but I made the mistake of telling a girl, well, I'll watch to make sure that you get in, when I dropped a girl off at her building when it was dark. And I thought she would understand that was a nice thing, but I think she creeped the fuck out. She's like, I'm fine, you can go. Like, slammed the door. Like, I don't think she wanted me to know where she lived, even though her fucking address was in the goddamn Uber. I don't know. But I stated it in a way where I thought it showed that I was just showing concern to make sure she didn't get jumped by somebody jumping out of a hedge. But in reality, she probably thought, hey, well, you're gonna watch me, you creep. But even though I hadn't been creepy in the fucking, whatever the fuck, who knows? I don't know. But I always try to make sure that they, I try to be polite, but sometimes it's skewed. But she said she was quite capable, and she was. She got out of the car and she walked up her driveway, got in her house, and I drove and drove further. Wound up in Pasadena, picked people up there. Because again, it's like a video game. You just surf it. You go wherever you're pinged. I dropped her in Burbank, and I got pinged later in Burbank, and then Burbank took me to Pasadena. It was the night of the debate. I picked up a couple of women, and my GPS had sent me the wrong way. So when I saw that, I was like, that's crazy. So I turned my car around, and I was heading to them, and the phone rang, and she said, hi, are you coming or not? And I said, I'm actually on my way now. And she goes, well, you're driving the complete opposite way. And I go, yeah, for some reason my GPS got backwards. The app's been kind of buggy tonight. So I'm on my way. She goes, well, do you want me to just cancel you and order somebody else? I said, I'm a mile away. I mean, if you want to cancel, go ahead, but I'm literally a mile away. She goes, all right, well, we're waiting. And hangs up. I wanted to go, you know what? You're waiting? Do me a favor. Head over to the colored car. Relax. So I picked them up. And they climb in and they ask if they could put the debate on the radio. Now, I have avoided all of that because for me, it's just, it's as if the NFL season were to last 2.5 years before the Super Bowl. There's just no point in paying attention yet. You got 18 guys fighting for one thing. You got a woman and 2 guys fighting for the other. And we basically all know it's going to be Hillary against whatever idiot comes out of the fucking GOP. And I don't say idiot like, haha, Hillary's the best and the GOP was the worst. But clearly in that choice, Hillary is better than anybody in the GOP. Do I sit here and go, yay, Hillary? No, I think it'd be fucking awesome to have a woman president, and I hope that she governs in a way that's respectful and nice to everybody and isn't besotted to her corporate overlords. I don't, and again, don't talk to me. I'm a fucking podcaster who drives a car for a living. I don't know anything. I know what I've read. But I know I support her or Bernie Sanders, or whoever the fuck comes out as a Democrat, because you know what? I just want somebody who doesn't tell women what they can do with their vaginas. That's it. That's the main fucking thing. So I don't know why I spun off into that bullshit, but they wanted the debate on. So I was like, all right, yeah. She goes, you have satellite radio? She goes, put on, station 160 or whatever. So I did, and it was wrong. And she goes, no, this is the debate. I go, it's really not. I go, because, and she goes, no, that's Carly Fiorina talking. I said, okay. And I knew it was not, because in a debate, these people frame their answers in a certain way. I mean, you go, well, the way of my opponent, you can hear just the way they talk. They're phony. They're fucking phony. These people were being far too glib to be in a debate. So after about 30 seconds, she goes, hey, I don't think this is the debate. I'm like, yeah, I said that. I go, these answers are far too glib. I go, there's no way these are people debating. And she goes, well, this is MSNBC. And I said, yeah, but maybe they're not carrying it. And I went over to CNN, and there was the debate. So she goes, yeah, I need to listen to it because I get paid to tweet about it. I said, oh, well, and in my head, I'm like, where do you get that fucking gig? Fucking pay me to tweet about it, for fuck's sake. Because then and I will tell you this, she had her phone out and she was with her friend. And she was the snippy one who called me and said that they were fucking waiting for me. And she was in such a fucking hurry. This is going to sound terrible, but it's true. So they get in the car and she asked me to put the debate on, and you could hear like her friend sigh, kind of like, ugh. So as we're listening to the debate, we would hear people give answers, and someone used the word feckless and all these different things. And I would, because they engaged me, I decided, well, fuck this, I'm going to be funny. So whenever somebody would say something, I would have a quip. It's almost like I was live tweeting it verbally to them in the back seat. I became me. Instead of just uber idiot, I was Mike Schmidt, and I was going to do jokes. So every time I would do a joke, her friend laughed because I'm fucking funny. Well, she, however, did not. She did not think I was entertaining or funny in the least. And then she would tweet out a joke and she would read it out loud to her friend, like competing with me. All of a sudden now she had to prove that she was funnier than me. And I guess that was her gig anyway. But oh my God, was she a stiff? She was right, just the worst. And like to the point where I wanted to remember them and Google them to find out exactly who she was. Because I wanted to see who was paying her. And then I wanted to call them. If she was working for BuzzFeed, whoever the fuck, I'm going to go, hey, dude, seriously, put me on the goddamn payroll if this is the lunkhead you've got throwing out bon mots. Because it is not having her bon mots? I don't even know. I hope it's not a French publication because I just got fired. But it was this weird contest where I would say something funny and her friend would laugh, and then she would go, oh, I just thought of something. And she would write it and she'd read it out loud, and it would just fucking land on the floor of the goddamn car with nothing. Just her friend would be like, like kind of chuckle, or even like it was the verbal equivalent of tapping her on the shoulder or patting her on the wrist or the knee and going, good job, you're trying. But then I'd fucking rifle off something and it was like, yeah, fuck yeah, that girl would laugh. And it made me happy. And I had to drive them to where they were going. And then I pulled up and I dropped them off and I pulled into an alley to end the trip. And the Uber app fucking fried out and disappeared. And I kept trying because there's this thing when you finish a ride, you have to complete the ride and it tells Uber you're done. And then you got to rate the rider with the fucking star rating. So I started doing that and it wouldn't take it. It kept saying malformed request. And then all of a sudden the Uber app just it said unable to print earnings or what the fuck. It gave me some weird message. And I looked and all the money of the day had been erased. It said my earnings for today were like $20, and I had delivered like fucking 12 people. I had made at least $90, but it was down to fucking, I think it was $20 or $19, and I was like, what the fuck? So I immediately fire off an email to Uber. But again, there's nobody there. It's this shadowy fucking thing. You hit the support button, you send an email, and you wait for them to answer you. And they boot. Dude, usually they answer you quick, but this time they didn't fucking answer me at all. I'm like, what the fuck, man? What's happening? Because I didn't want to drive anymore if I wasn't going to make any goddamn money. Because it was giving me routes to take. It was giving me people to pick up, but then it wouldn't put it into the fucking earnings. And I'm like, well, fuck, all I can hope is that my phone's history is keeping it, and I'd take a screenshot of the fucking earnings, but at the end it would say NA. Dude, it was a mess. So pissed. So I went and drove, another woman, she went up to East LA, or no, where did she go? She went to Saticoy, so she was like driving up to North Hollywood, but like bad North Hollywood. And then I picked up somebody at the Vallarta Market. You don't care. But I was driving all day, and I wound up driving a bunch of people, and then I wound up being kited over to Silver Lake. And I got pinged in Silver Lake. I don't want to say the person's name. Let's call him Jeremy. So I go to pick up Jeremy, and it's at this fucking Sunset, and I forget the name of the street. And I'm sitting there on the corner, and what it is when you show up, you give them like 5 minutes of leeway. You're supposed to give them 2 minutes when you pick people up. You give them 2 minutes, and then you can use your discretion. Well, at midnight, I recognize people are leaving the bars. I give them a few minutes. It's fine, but I'll text them. After 2 minutes, I text, and I'll be like, hey, it's your Uber. I'm outside. And I did that, and Jeremy did not answer me. And I waited another minute or two, and then I texted again and said, hey, it's your Uber. Are you coming out? Because, again, I don't want to be a jagoff and strand anybody, and also I recognize people getting out of the bars, and it's late, and I've been driving 10 hours as it is, and fuck, I'm here. You know what I mean? It's money if they get in the fucking car, so that's all I got to worry about. They don't answer me, so I call right away. And I get a voicemail. And I go, all right, well, fuck, I got to get out of here. So then my phone rings when I hang up, and I pick it up, and I just hear, I go, hi, Jeremy? And he's like, and I go, Jeremy, it's your Uber. Is this Jeremy? Where are you? I said, Jeremy, I'm right on the corner of Sunset and this other, this street. And he's like, well, that's where I am. I go, all right, well, I'm right here. I'm in a blue car. I'll flash my flashers. You can't miss me. All right. He hangs up. And look, this happens a lot when I'm dealing with drunk people. They're lost, or they don't know where they are, or they put in a different address. I mean, I've had people put in an address and I've gone there, and then they called me and they go, "Where are you?" And I go, "I'm here." And I give them the address. They go, "That's my house." I go, "All right. That's the address you put into the Uber app." And they go, No, I'm here." And they're like 8 miles away, and they wanted to go home, but they're fucking drunk. So they put their home address into the goddamn thing. And I go, "Look, well, I mean, fuck, you should probably cancel this and order somebody else, because I'm like 8 miles away." "All right, fine." And they hang up. Because they've been taught by Uber that we don't fucking matter. They've been taught by Uber they don't need to be polite. They've been taught by Uber to just take us for granted. And look, I'm just driving you around. I'm not looking for a fucking hand job. But at the same fucking time, it'd be nice if you were commonly courteous. You know what? Be commonly courteous. Be commonly Curtis Enos, former running back for the Chicago Bears. So he calls, and he hangs up, and I'm sitting there, and I'm waiting, and I don't even see him. And so I text, "Hey, Jeremy, I've called once, texted twice, and not heard from you, so I'm going to take off. Have a good night." And I went to cancel the ride, and just as I did, I see a girl kind of frantically waving. And I roll my window down, and she's like, "Michael?" Because that's my name in the Uber app. And I said, "Yes." "Jeremy?" She goes, "Yes." And it's a young couple. She takes him by the hand, and she's leading him. They're across the street. They're basically on the corner, but they're kitty corner from where I am. By the way, I say that with full confidence. I have no idea what the fuck kitty corner means. I don't know if that means across or diagonal. In Connect 4, they were diagonally from me. So they come frantically running across the street. And I unlock the doors. They climb in. And she's like, "Hi, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry about that. He had the phone and I couldn't see where you were, and I didn't know if you were in the right place." And I said, "No, it's okay." And he's still standing outside the car. And she goes, "Jeremy, you got to get in." He's like, "What?" And she goes, "Jeremy, get in." So he gets in, and he hits his head. He's a tall, lanky kid. He hits his fucking head on the car. You know how cops put a perp in the back seat and they put their hand on his head? Yeah, he needed them, because I heard it. Like, I heard it go clong. And he sits behind me. She sits behind the passenger seat. They're in the back seat. So they get in, and I go, "Hey, how are you?" She goes, "We're fine, thank you. We're so sorry about that." And I'm like, "No, that's okay." So I slide the thing over, and I see that they're actually going like 30 miles, which is cool. Because, like I said, I've been driving like 10 hours, and I'm a mercenary, man. I'm just trying to make fucking money. So I'm happy to go 30 miles, and even this late. It takes me out of Hollywood, but who fucking cares? And I might even call it a night at the end of this. We'll see. But then I think to myself, you know what? You can drive a couple more hours, man. You can actually make more money. Push it. Stay out there, because it's addicting, like I said. And when you're in the car, you're just trying to make fucking money. So I start driving, and she says, "How long have you been Ubering?" And I said, "Oh, I've been doing it about 3-4 months." She's like, "How do you like it?" I said, "Oh, it's something you do." And I said, "Do you want the radio on or up?" She goes, "Play whatever you want." I said, "What about the heat?" She goes, "No, just as long as you're comfortable." And I said, "Well, I'm very comfortable, but this is our ride. Let's make sure we're all comfortable." And she laughed, and she said, "Well, if you turn the heat up a little bit." And I did. And I got her name, which I won't say. And she asked where I was from, and I said, "I live in the Valley." She goes, "Oh, what are you doing down here?" I said, "Well, I surf the app, and I go wherever people take me." I said, "What are you doing down here? This is far away from where you guys are heading." She goes, "Well, yeah, but we parked up there, and then we met some friends, and we just all of a sudden wound up down here, and we realized that we couldn't get home because they went home earlier, so we need a ride." I said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Do you Uber a lot?" And she goes, "Well, yeah, but mainly after he's been drinking." And I said, "Oh, has he been drinking?" And she goes, "Well, he's passed out now, so that should probably answer your question." I said, "Oh, okay, well, that's fine." She says, "Yeah, do you like Ubering?" I said, "Nah, I have to do it." I go, I do like it because you kind of make your own rules a little bit. I said, but at the same time, you got to make your own rules. And I am very bad at making rules. I said, I'm a really good boss, but I'm a terrible employee. I'll give myself the week off, but then all of a sudden at the end of the week, I'm like, oh, fuck. She laughed. I didn't swear, I should say, because I was trying to keep it clean. And I asked her what she did, and she had just graduated school. And she said, I'm actually torn between what I want to do with my life. And I said, really? She said, yeah, because, I just graduated and I'm trying to get a job, but I don't know whether I want to get a job doing the thing I graduated for or if I want to do something that I love. I said, really? I said, well, that's kind of a deep philosophical question. She goes, yeah, and I find myself at that crossroads now. And I said, where do you live? You live at home? She goes, I do. And she goes, I said, you live with your parents? She said, yes. I go, are they pressuring you to make a move? And she goes, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I kind of have to make my decision. And I said, oh. I said, well, what's your decision? She goes, well, I could work for a nonprofit and I could make a lot of money. She goes, I could do very well, but I don't think that's what I want to do. I went to school because my parents paid for it, and I went all 4 years kind of trying to do what they wanted me to do, always knowing that that wasn't what I wanted to do. And now that I've graduated, I guess I thought that once I left school, they'd stop. I said, yeah, I can tell you that nobody stops. And she laughed. I said, no, as long as you let people tell you what to do, as long as you let people think that they have a hand in whatever decisions you're going to make, they're going to keep that hand in there and try to make you make the decisions they want you to make. She said, yeah, I'm finding that out. I said, well, you're going to find it out forever. I go, it's good that you're finding it out at 23 rather than finding out at 50. I go, you just got to recognize that you will always have a master that you have to answer to. You just got to make sure that you can keep yourself separate from it and stay who you are and rise above any of the commitments that you've made for yourself. She said, really? I said, yeah. I said, look, I'm old. And she goes, you're not old. How old are you? I go, I'm old. I'm 1,000,000 times older than you. How old are you? She said, 23. I said, all right, I'm older than you. I said, and, I'm changing who I am as a person. And I can tell you that, the only thing that matters is being happy. I said, I haven't figured out exactly how to do it yet. I said, but I know that when I'm happy, I'm at my best. And she said, really? I said, yeah. I go, the problem is finding out when you're happy and what makes you happy and doing it. She goes, well, that sounds like the easy answer. I go, well, it's not an easy answer. I go, because, sometimes being happy means you don't have any money. And sometimes being happy means your parents aren't behind you and you have to rebel against them a little bit. And then they put pressure on you because they paid for 4 years of school and you're not doing the thing you went to school for. I go, it's just always a decision that you have to make. But remember that no matter what decision you make, it's affecting you more than anybody else. I said, until you have kids, of course. And she goes, do you have kids? I said, I do not. I said, I'm a kid. I'm my own kid, literally. I said, the smartest thing I ever did was not having any kids and subjecting them to the life I've chosen for myself. And she laughed. And she said, well, are you married? And I said, I'm no longer married. I said, but I'm happy. She said, really? And I said, yeah. I said, my girlfriend lives far away. I go, but we're making it work. It's a long distance relationship. And she goes, where's that? And I said, Wisconsin. She goes, oh my God, Wisconsin. I go, yeah. I said, I'm originally from Chicago. She lives in Wisconsin. She goes, well, how did you meet her? Like, how did you know? And I said, I travel sometimes and I work. And she's like, what do you mean? And I go, I go, look, all right, I do what everybody else in town does. I said, I have a podcast and I have and she goes, oh my God, what's the name of the podcast? And I told her and I said, and she goes, well, I like it. I said, you will absolutely not like it. She goes, what do you mean? I go, look, I spend most of my time telling people they won't like it. I go, you can listen to it. I go, I get a little shouty and she goes, do you swear? And I go, oh, a lot. I said, it is absolutely explicit. She goes, well, what's it about? I said, it's about my life. She goes, well, but like what? Like in what way? And I said, literally, it's about every aspect of my life. It's about whatever happened that week or what happened 5 years ago or what happened 40 years ago. And she said, really? And I said, yeah. I go, I just kind of start talking and I don't really stop. She said, that sounds hard. And I said, well, I mean, it can be. I go, let's put it this way. Anybody could open a microphone and just talk for 2 hours. But the key is you got to try to be funny or entertaining or else people aren't going to fucking listen to you. You're just some whiny asshole. And I go, look, the key is being a whiny jerk who actually makes people laugh. And she laughed and she's like, well, I'm going to look you up. And I said, I'm sure you are. She goes, well, tell me more about your girlfriend. And I said, well, I did a show and I did a show in Milwaukee and, I met her there. I said I had known her, like on Facebook, we had, connected by friends or whatever. She goes, oh my God, Facebook, everybody on Facebook. I go, yep, everybody's on Facebook. I said, so I connected with her there, just like, literally she was someone to listen to the show and she was like, you should come to Milwaukee and do a show sometime. And I was there and I walked out on stage and this is the truth. I said, I walked out and I saw her in the front row at the show. And I froze. I don't know how to explain it. I've never felt that way before or since. But when I saw her, all I wanted to do was sit down and talk to her. And I said, and she said, really? I said, no, that's actually not accurate. I said, all I wanted to do was I wanted to walk up, throw her over my shoulder, and run away. Just run away and find out who she was and what she was about and how I could keep her. How I could keep her. I've never felt that way in my life. It was instant. I looked, she was in the front row, she smiled, and I was staring, and I knew it came to me. I knew I was staring. And I didn't care, and she kind of bashfully looked away. And in my head, I went, because I literally had just walked out on stage in front of everybody, and I said, in my head, I went, you got to do a show. What are you doing? You got to, I actually had to mentally shake myself by the lapels and go, dude, you got other people here you got to entertain at some point. And it seemed like it was a long moment forever, but it probably was only like 5 seconds. But that's all I wanted, was to be with her. She said, that's beautiful. And I said, oh. I mean, I hope so, but it's true. That's more important than beauty. And she said, well, now I want to know who this person is. And I said, well, her name is Jill. And she said, well, now I want to see her. And I said, well, so that's a little hard here on the freeway. And she goes, well, no, do you have any pictures of her? And I said, you know what? Actually, yeah, I have a picture of her. Because like literally in my head, I'm like, yes, I have 4,000 photos of her. But I didn't want to give her my phone and let her scroll through my photos, because maybe some of those photos shouldn't be being seen by the 23-year-old who just graduated college and I met 4 minutes ago. Maybe. So as I'm driving, and I'm going to get yelled at for this, but I'm driving and I pull up my phone and, or I should say my phone is in my hand, but I get out of the map and I go to Facebook, because I know that there's no unsafe for work photos there. And I just go to my Facebook and I just start flipping through and showing her photos. I show a photo of us together at a football game. I show her like Jill in Phoenix when we had pizza, and I show the photo of me holding Jill the first day that we told people we were having a relationship. Just favorite photos, me holding the foul ball, stuff that Jill has had framed for me actually. And she's just like, wow. She goes, she is absolutely gorgeous. I said, she is, right? Then I said, I'm extremely lucky. And she goes, wow, she's lucky if when I hear how you feel about her. And I go, well, we feel that way about each other. I go, she's done a lot for me. She's made me very happy. And she says, well, you keep saying it's about being happy. And I said, it is. And I said, I'm old. She says, you're not old. I said, I'm old. I'm older than you. And it just took me until recently to learn that it's just be happy. And I should tell you, I don't do this all the time. I mean, believe me, I'm an idiot. I get mad at stuff that I shouldn't get mad at, but in the overall picture, you just have to be happy. Life will be life, but you have to try to be as happy as you possibly can. She says, well, that's what I'm trying to decide. If I can be happy making money and making my parents happy. I go, don't make anybody else happy. Make you happy first, especially young. When you get old, it's different. I go, but when you're young, make yourself happy, because that puts you on the path to being happy maybe for the rest of your life. She said, man, I never thought of it that way. This is an interesting Uber ride. I said, yes, it is. Because it was so strange. I was kind of reaching out to her, and it was this, I felt like a dad giving advice, which is, and for me, that's not a position I ever find myself in. She said, well, I still don't know what I'm going to do, because I live with them and they really want me to do certain things, and I don't know what I want to do with my life. I said, a lot of people find themselves in that position. I go, but it would be worse if you knew what you wanted to do with your life and you didn't do it. She said, you're right. And at that moment, Jeremy, who had been passed out behind me, leaned forward and threw up down my back. He coughed and it hit me, and I was shocked, and I just went, did you just fucking spit on me? And he kept coughing. And I didn't even have to see her. I could feel how mortified she was. She, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. And he then leaned back. I reached back to see if he had spit on me, and I realized it was much worse. And I still had 14 miles of freeway to drive to get these people where they were going. Now, I wanted to pull over. I was on the 405. I wanted to pull over, but I'm going to be honest with you. If I had pulled over, I would have beaten him to death. All I wanted to do was get them out of the fucking car, and I wasn't going to throw them out of the fucking car. I mean, again, I wanted to. I thought of it. I thought of everything. Everything flashed through my fucking head, and I fumed. That's all you heard for 13 miles in the car, because I tell you what, she didn't say another fucking word to me. Not a word. Because there's nothing else. What could you say? What could you fucking say? And I could hear him in the back, and periodically he'd cough. And I knew every time he coughed that something bad was happening. And I drove. I fucking drove. And I thought I had connected with her on a personal level and in a fatherly way, and I felt every ounce of wisdom I had purveyed dripping down my fucking shirt. I get to where they're going. They're parked in a Best Buy parking lot in fucking, I don't know, Northridge. She says, that's my car there. I pull up. And she goes to get out, and she has to drag him out of the car because he's fucking passed out. He can't move. She finally shakes him. She drags him out. I get a glimpse of him. He's got fucking puke all over his front, all over his shirt, behind his jacket. He gets out, and he just starts brushing it off himself. He's not in any way alarmed or shocked. It's just kind of a common occurrence, I guess, for Jeremy to be covered in fucking vomit on a Tuesday night. He gets out of the car, and he's brushing it off himself, and I get out to see the fucking damage in the back seat, and I see it's all over the back of my driver's seat. It's like, and you just running down. And also, every time he coughed toward the window. So the window looks like a Jackson Pollock painting. And she comes over to me and she goes, I'm so sorry. And I reach back, and it's in my hair and all over my shirt. And I had a towel in the car, so I just poured like bottles of water on the towel, and I went to start cleaning it up. And she goes, I'm really sorry about that. And she hands me $2. $2 fucking dollars. You know, I'd often wondered what the going rate was to get vomited on. Apparently it's $19 less than when you get a new job, but it's $1 more than when you had to suffer through the horrors of World War II. I looked at her, I said, look, you don't have to do this. You know that. And she just goes, no, I'm really, really sorry. I'm embarrassed. I can't imagine what it'll be like to have to go through this. I'm sorry, please. So I took the fucking $2. Not for me, for her. I didn't want it. But I could see that she was just fucking defeated. And over at her car, Jeremy is leaning on the hood, coughing up more detritus. And he just starts laughing. Face down in puke on the hood of her BMW, covered in his own fucking sick. He starts laughing. And I looked at her and I said, you want to be happy? Maybe you stop hanging out with a guy who thinks it's hilarious that he fucking puked all over himself on a Tuesday night. She goes, I am so sorry. I said, I know. She turned to walk away, and I said, do you want to really be happy? She said, I do. I said, then make sure when you're 50 years old, you don't have a job where a kid thinks it's funny that he threw up all over you on a Tuesday night. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old-boy. You can follow me on Twitter at Twitter.com/the40-year-old-boy. And I'm hilarious over there. Not so much anywhere else. Certainly not here or Facebook. But oh my God, Twitter, that's where I save the good stuff. I saved the good stuff for that. Bite-sized chunks, which probably is not the best analogy to use at the end of the show, or this show in particular. But go to Twitter and follow me at twitter.com/the40yearoldboy. Our friend David Hernandez does all of the artwork and the music for this show because he's the best. He's our friend. He's our pal. If you can't stop him, no one will. I think that, I don't know how that went. That's not a cheerleader. Look, I was never a good cheerleader coach. I spent a lot of time ogling. I spent a lot of time going, hey, you know what? Spanx inspection. That's why I was a terrible cheerleader coach. All I did was conduct Spanx inspections. They're like, shouldn't we come up with some routines? And I'm like, no, do that pyramid thing, but leave the Spanx off so I can inspect them. And just, nude pyramid. That's what we should try. Because you know what? It's more free. We can stack more girls up if we're all naked, right? Terrible cheerleader coach. But David Hernandez was a great cheerleader coach. You can write him about all his experiences doing that. Go to find him at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez and write him a note and become his friend there. He has he put up a fucking awesome profile picture this week. Everybody's doing the lightsabers. Go see what he did. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but go look. Go be his friend at facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. Ryan Dirks does all. Oh, wait, and also, I'll tell you this about David. He also has artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com. If you want him to do some artwork for you, some cool artwork, or terrible artwork, you can hire him to do that. He'll do whatever you want as long as your money is green. That's fine. If you want to purchase any of his the stuff he's already painted, like the Guyscapes and the Valscapes and Guy Cons, those are available. But you can commission him to do artwork for you personally, and he will do whatever you want. Like I said, he'll do a great thing or he'll do a terrible thing, whatever you'd like. The guy works in any medium at all, even human flesh. You need a lampshade? Give him a call or an email. I can't give his phone number. Actually, I can. 630. No, I won't. It's funny. Like even that is weird to me that I gave out the area code. Like that's too much. I'm not smart. So contact David at artbydmh.com or facebook.com/DavidMexHernandez. Remember, our friend Ryan Dirks does all the web stuff for this show. Facebook.com/Ryan Dirks. Go ahead and be his friend. That's RYANDIRKS. And our friend Lily Von Stupp is the producer of this show when she can make it, whatever. If you want to be her friend, go to facebook.com/Lily Von Stupp. I think she's chock full of friends, but you can get in the queue, get on the waiting list, and go ahead and make a request. And please remember that she's available at all sorts of different Twitter accounts, twitter.com/MNTs, twitter.com/HollywoodBQFest, twitter.com/Lily Von Stupp, and twitter.com/Boobdini. I believe is available. Go follow her at all of those things for all the goings on in Lily Von Stupp's life. But if you'd like to write her a personal note, and find out how you too can get a handle on one of those spyglass nude photo dealies without going to the show, I got a hint for you. You won't. You got to go to the goddamn show. But if you want to ask her anyway, go ahead and do it. You can contact her at Lily at burlesque411.com. That's Lily, Lili, at burlesque411.com.
Just in time for this season, Sluggy Records is proud to bring you a very 80s Christmas. For the first time in this TV offer, you'll get holiday classics performed by all your favorite stars of the 80s. You'll get Yuletide hits from Thomas Dolby, Aha, Wham, Mr. U2, and this Ode to Santa by Gary Newman.
His name is Claus, and he makes all the toys. Then he brings them to all the good girls and boys. He's Claus. We can dance if we want to with a man made out of snow, with a corncob pipe and a button nose and two eyes made out of gold. So we can dance, everybody take a chance. We can dance with a snowman with no pants. It's a frosty dance, he ain't got no pants. Well, it's Christmas Eve, alright, and Santa will be gone all night. So now my work is done and I can have some fun, and I'll be dancing with an elf. Oh, 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 dancing with an elf. Oh, 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 dancing with an elf. Well, she's pounding beers and she's got pointy ears, and I'll be dancing with an elf. Oh, 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 oh. Do you really want a real tree? Do you really want to chop one
That special someone in your gift list still wears parachute pants and a mullet haircut. They'll love this collection of holiday music like this Christmas classic from In Excess.
So slide down the chimney and give me a present and drink all the milk and eat the cookies too. And eat the cookies too. Santa, you're my guy. Oh, happy holidays to you. Happy holidays. It makes no difference if you call it Kwanzaa or Hanukkah. Whether you're Gentile or Jew. Happy holidays. Oh, happy holidays to you. What I should do is just leave me standing alone with the hammer and wood. Santa is just too demanding, making me build all the toys for the neighborhood. Maybe I'm just a big loser. Why should I even try? What good is a wooden computer? This is what it sounds like when elves cry.
Yes, it's a very 80s Christmas. Available on 2 CDs for $19.99 or 33 8-track cassettes for only $63.50. Call 1-800-867-5309. Ask for Jenny. Call right now. Call today. That's 1-800-867-5309. A very 80s Christmas. Order now.
Want to remind you folks about the Monday Night Teas every Monday night at the 3 Clubs on Vine at Santa Monica. That's how a snake would give you directions. It's on Vine at Santa Monica. That's how the cobra that Ricky Tikki Tavi killed, Nag and Nagaina. That's how they would give you directions to the Monday Night Teas. It's on Vine at Santa Monica, the 3 Clubs at Santa Monica. Go check it out. It's fantastic. Lots of nude ladies, lots of dancing, lots of wood paneling, and lots of booze. All of that is there. Only one of those things is free. I'll let you guess which one it is. But tickets are available always at Brown Paper Tickets. Go there and check out who's coming and who's going to be there. I can tell you tickets are, I think, available now for Lily's 50th birthday party, which is going to be amazing. 50 performers. She's got the whole club all night long, not just the back. She's got the front too. Both bars and TV screens, and there'll be videos, I would imagine, of stuff that she likes, and then you'll go in the back and watch people dance and fire eat and spin, and you'll see me tell a story. There's all sorts of cool people who are going to be there. That's January 11th, 14th. I don't know off the top of my head, but tickets are available now. If you go to brownpapertickets.com and put in Lily Von Stupp or Monday Night Teas, it'll come up. If you go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and become the friend, you will find out about all the upcoming shows, including Lily's birthday show, which is in January, just a scant month from now, I believe, even a little shorter, a little less than a month from now. That was weird. I breathed and my mouth closed. Did you hear that noise? That was fucking strange. So go, please, and do, and buy, and sing, and watch, and look. Go look. Go to the show and look. That's it. Don't clap. Don't cheer. Don't smile. Just look. Go gawk. Go get your opera glasses out and stare at nude people and me telling a story. So tickets available for not only that show, but all sorts of shows. There's a Christmas show coming up. I think she's got a Peanuts show coming up. That may be why she was home building a fucking doghouse instead of coming here and doing her fucking job. But go check it out. All of those tickets are available now at brownpapertickets.com. And like I said, if you can go to burlesque411.com for all sorts of information and neat stuff, and go to facebook.com/Monday Night Teas and find out about upcoming shows. And she's got other gigs too that I'll plug in the future when she's here, because right now I don't know them, but I know she's got a bunch of privates and a bunch of parties coming up and all sorts of neat stuff. So go, please, be our friend Lily Von Stupp's friend, her fan, her confidant, her bon vivant. Find her and do all the cool things you would do with a stripper. Why not? Right? I got to stop at the right. I do that only when I'm alone. Basically, I got to stop at the alone. And the show I put on Facebook that the show would be up by noon, and we're well past noon as I record this. God damn it! I still got to edit it. Fuck! I apologize. Please remember that MikeSchmidtComedy.com exists, soon to be remade and revamped, and I got to contact Ryan and let him know that he's got work to do. But right now, David is doing the hard work, the big work, the heavy lifting. He is our guy in the redesign, and it's going to be coming out, and that'll be neat, and everything will be fine and fun for everyone in the world. But go right now to MikeSchmidtComedy.com. We got the Joe Business page, all sorts of neat stuff, shirts and CDs and downloads, things that you already know about. But more importantly, I think right now, because a lot of you have purchased the merch, and you don't need any more of the merch that we got until the new stuff gets unleashed. And by new stuff, I mean one thing probably. But more importantly is the Amazon link. Now, if you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com and you go to the Joe Business page, there is an Amazon link. If you click through that, you go to our 40-year-old boy store, which is woefully unstocked. But if you go to the upper left-hand corner and click through the actual Amazon, you'll be using our link and shopping, and we will get any credit for anything you buy, and it gives us money for the show, and it makes us very happy. That's cool. And look, and I recognize every fucking podcast in the world has a code, but these people have sponsors and money and MeUndies and all sorts of other bullshit telling them, giving them money. Like I said, everybody else is sponsored by Uber. I am Uber. Fuck. I need the money. Fuck these other people. And I don't give a fuck who, bring me a name and I'll fucking refute it. I'm so terrible. But please use the Amazon link and it goes to me and I'm happy and I get to pay my bills. And maybe it means I don't have to Uber 12 hours a day in fucking Milwaukee. Wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't that be great? I could just go there and fucking relax with my girlfriend. Not that you want to fucking fund that. I should be writing bits, right? That's why it's like I want to do a Patreon page. But then when I do that, I actually have to fucking work and stuff, which I don't mind. I really want to do that. But if I'm Ubering 60 hours a week, well, I also have time to do that. But that's the thing is you got to throw yourself fucking into it and do it, right? You can't moan and bitch and whine. You just got to do things. Move forward like a goddamn shark. Shark. That's how a snake would say it. So please use our Joe Business link and make cool things happen and go ahead and buy stuff if you can. But mainly use our Amazon link and donate to the show. All that cool stuff is really appreciated by us here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now, the Star Wars spoilers. What if that happened? What if I literally just unveiled the entire plot of the film? I did not. I haven't seen it yet. I probably will not see it for like a week or so, I would imagine. I'm debating dragging Jill to it. I don't think Jill's seen the others. I think she might have seen the first one, but never. And she doesn't need to see the fucking prequels. Nobody needs to see those. But she needs to see Empire and Return and regular Star Wars, right? New Hope, is that what that was called? But I want her to see those so she kind of has a touchstone with what the fuck is going on in these movies or in this movie. But my trainer John was so excited. I think he's seeing it he might have seen it last night. I don't know. He was seeing it Wednesday night or Thursday night. I don't know. But he said he's going to see it 5 times before I see him again on Friday. So good for him. I hope it's good. I mean, I've heard great things. I don't know. I saw one trailer and I was like, that's pretty awesome. Then I watched the second trailer. I go, that's great. And then I stopped because didn't they put out like 8 fucking trailers. There were international trailers and regular trailers. And it's like, dude, eventually you just cobble together the entire fucking movie out of trailers. I don't want that. I want to sit in the theater and fucking experience. I want to see The Crawl. I want to hear the fucking John Williams. I want to do all that. I don't want to watch it on fucking YouTube at my house. That just seems shitty. So I'll probably be seeing that in a week. But most importantly for me, folks, with this holiday season, look, everybody loves Star Wars and everybody likes a good lightsaber in the ass, right? Don't they? That's a right that I shouldn't have said. I know that. I assert it. I don't even need to ask your opinion on that. Everybody likes a good lightsaber in the ass. But more importantly, folks, yesterday I bought my tickets for the Hateful Eight. Yeah, that's right. And I know you're thinking to yourself, well, Mike, you're going to be in fucking Wisconsin over Christmas. It's only being released in certain cities. Well, I was going to drive all the way to Chicago to see Hateful Eight on Christmas Day, and Jill was down with that. She has not seen any Tarantino. As I've mentioned, I'm very frightened to show her Tarantino because that's my guy. But luckily, she heard him on Howard Stern, and she's like, I like that guy. I want to see that movie. I'm like, good, I'm in. Let's do it. And it was easier to get her on board because normally she would do something because I wanted to do it, but I would like her to want to do it as well because otherwise I'm just dragging her to see a movie that's 3 hours long, and then she's like, I don't know. Which she still might do. I have no fucking clue. I'm predisposed to love anything Tarantino does. I mean, I even like Death Proof, for fuck's sake. Although even that I have to admit, that one got, that's the only movie that I would have a thing with. And I mean, but I recognize what he was trying to do. But at the same fucking time, I sat in watching Death Proof at midnight because that was also, the Grindhouse movie was like 3 hours long. It was 2 different movies stitched together. And Death Proof got I loved it, but it got a little draggy. Loved is strong. I liked it. I'm trying to be true to my guy, but everything else he's done is gold. So I can't wait to see this fucking movie. I'm excited. So I went to look to go to Christmas Day and go to Chicago, and she was on board with it. But then I went, you know what, on a lark, because I have to see it in 70 millimeter. That's the deal. I got to see it the way he intended it. So I looked and I checked, and fuck, dude, it's playing like 15 miles from fucking Jill's house. How fucking gorgeous is that? In Wisconsin, they got one theater that's showing it on 70 millimeter. And I'm seeing it on Christmas Eve. Fuck Christmas. I don't even have to wait until Christmas. I'm going Christmas Eve night at 10 o'clock. And I am so excited for that because here's what I want to do with Jill. I want to go out Christmas Eve night and I want to have like Chinese food at 8 and then go to the movie and then watch The Hateful Eight and watch people getting murdered in blood and then walk outside and it's Christmas. Just holding the hand of the woman I love and walking out of a building into Christmas. I'm excited about that. Although technically, if I walk into the theater and I see her sitting there, I may just smile at her, look at her, and then throw over my shoulder and run away. That could happen in the theater if she gets in there before me. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm really excited. So Christmas Eve is booked, and I'm excited to see The Hateful Eight. And I mean, dude, we're inundated. I used to love trailers, man. I loved watching them, and I'd love seeing them at the movie theaters and seeing them, and because that was my favorite part of movies. I would go see trailers over and over. I loved them. But now when you get to see them on YouTube, it kind of takes the fucking edge off. I'm not. You know, I actually watched the Star Trek trailer. Okay, I don't have a fucking touchstone at all with Star Trek. I don't know a fucking thing about it. I know there's a guy named Captain Kirk and Spock. I know all the fucking canon of it, but I don't want to see it. I don't care. I didn't care about the TV show. It's not for me. I'm not saying it's dumb. I'm just saying it's not for me. But dude, when I watched that trailer, I went, "This is dumb." I don't know why. Fucking is it? I think Spock's on a motorcycle at one point, and then the fucking Beastie Boys are playing, and people are pissed because they're like, "Oh man, why would they listen to the Beastie Boys in Star Trek land?" And I'm like, I don't fucking know, dude. I don't. Nerds have the weirdest arguments. You know what I mean? Where they're just like, "Oh man, there's no way." But I'm the same way, because I'll tell you what, people watch the Star Trek trailer like, "Wow, why Beastie Boys? And why would they do this?" And I don't understand. And I'm like, fuck that. I don't understand. You guys are kind of nitpicky here. It looks stupid, certainly. I don't understand, again, why Spock's on a motorcycle, but good for him. And if that's what they needed to do to get people in the goddamn theater is make Spock an evil fucking Spock-Nevil, then go ahead. But for me, it's not going to work, and I'm not going to see him. You know, John's telling me, he's like, "Dude, you should see him anyway." And I'm like, no, that's not happening. But when I heard people bitching about the Beastie Boys in the trailer, I'm just like, well, fuck, it's a trailer, man. That's what they do. They throw in music, and I guess it sort of fits. And I didn't get it, but but whatever. I thought they made an artistic choice. But I won't tell you that you're stupid for nitpicking Star Trek, because I saw the Superman versus Batman fucking trailer, and I have cape fatigue, man. I got cowl exhaust. I don't know. I can't fucking. I mean, I'm gonna see it, but I find myself gravitating, like I said, to Hateful Eight, or I really want to see The Big Short, and I want to see Spotlight. That movie that's just gonna be about 8 dudes talking, literally in a newsroom. That's what the whole movie is. It's like My Dinner with Reporters. I can't wait to see it. And Spotlight, I'll tell you what, Spotlight's a movie. It's about the child molestation controversy, or not even controversy, the scandal that broke out in the Catholic Church, and it's about these reporters in Boston who unearthed it, and they exposed the archdiocese. And, I want to see Spotlight because I'm excited. I love those kinds of movies. I want a slow burn. I want people talking. I want smart, intelligent adult films. But I got to be honest, if I'm watching Spotlight and they're breaking a child molestation case, that's when the fucking Avengers should show up, right? Right? Where were they? Fuck. You should have had fucking Thor show up at the Archdiocese and start blasting the Pope with the fucking Mjolnir and getting as much money. You have the Avengers raid the Vatican and steal all the treasure and dispense it to all the molestation victims. That's what I want to see. I want to see Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden? How about Iron Man? Lighten up the fucking pontiff. That's what I want to see. Captain America bouncing his shield off that giant fucking hat. That's what I want to see. Fucking get in there. That the Avengers should attack the fucking Catholic Church. Then I'm on board. See, that makes Spotlight that much better. Then I'm on board with capes and cowls. Because Superman and Batman, man, there's this scene where like Superman goes into a dungeon and these guards kneel, and then he's got Batman tied up in a trench coat and he takes his mask off, and I'm like, are they gonna fuck? Like, what's happening here? I don't know why Superman would have Batman in an underground lair. I don't know why Superman has to take Batman's fucking mask off, because he's got X-ray vision. I don't think Superman lined it with lead unless he wants cancer of the goddamn jawline. Because that's all you see on Bruce Wayne is the fucking jawline. All of a sudden he gets cancer all around the rest of his head. You're like, hey, that guy's got cancer in the shape of the Batman mask. I wonder if Bruce Wayne has something he wants to tell us. Because there's no way you put lead in there to hide the fucking X-ray vision. But Superman goes down and these guys kneel. That had to be a dream sequence. I'm going out and saying it right now. That scene where Superman goes underground and Batman's chained up, and then he unmasks Batman in front of a couple of other dudes, that's a dream sequence. There's no way that's real.
Max always says people skip the closing music. I say people love your closing music, so let's prove it to them. If you've listened this far, write me at heymexilistened@gmail.com, and we'll send you a 40-year-old boy hearing commemorative Facebook profile picture that you better fucking put up, you dick. Sorry about the dick thing. thing, 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 thing. Did you get that?
Yeah, I got it.
I don't want you to miss any of that brilliance.